Cool Figure TV. Revolutionary salute. Revolutionary salute. Like, share, subscribe. Welcome to the House of Revolution. You know I'm your humble host, the Yao Mean of Revolution, and the Jezebel spirit is plaguing our community. Before we get into that, be sure to wipe your feet. That means hit the like button. Like, share, subscribe, support the platform, y'all. Well, salute, family. Revolution is a way of life. And revolution is for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I got some revolutionary breakfast for y'all. We got to look into this Jezebel activity from this young lady who lied on this young brother, slandered them. Too much of this goes on in our community. You just getting ahead, but y'all know people who've done this. We've come across this too much. Now let's dig into it. First, we're going to hear the phone call. Then we're going to get into exactly who is this Jezebel and why did she do this?
Atlanta 911 operator 8715. What is the location of your emergency?
She is under
The
arrest.
location is
the cab with the transfer. 1 second, ma'am, for 273 William Nye Drive, Southeast.
273 William Nye.
Yeah.
No, it's 273 William. Oh, you said Nye NYE, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you to cab. Hello, caller.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Do you need police, fire, or EMS?
Actually, both. If you could say both. There was literally a shooting. The house, literally the neighbors next door, the house of the address that I just gave you, the 273. There is literally a whole domestic dispute going on. There's like 7 guys that live in this house, and
What's your
then
name?
I'm sorry. What is my name?
Okay. Okay. Tell me exactly what happened.
Okay, so I'm the neighborhood watch, and basically like I said, these guys they're like selling drugs in and out of the house. All you see is guys coming in and out of the house with guns and stuff. They holding guns in the air, and then it's like I'm not sure if they're pimping, but it's the situation that's going on right now. This girl doesn't have on any clothes. They threw her outside. He was fighting the girl. He literally fought the girl. I'm not sure what they was fighting over. If they was fighting over drugs, that's what it sounded like. It sounded like they were fighting over drugs. And then they started shooting. She had someone come over there, and they started shooting. But the house needs to be investigated. They're definitely doing illegal stuff over there, and it's disturbing the area.
How many shots were fired?
I would say 3. It was 3 shots.
When did it happen?
It's happening now.
Okay.
So I believe the girl is hurt.
And they're coming from 273 William Nye Drive?
Yes. And the girl is hurt because she was like bleeding profusely, like blood everywhere.
Okay. Do you see or hear anything else?
Yeah, she's trying to get away and they're holding her. She's being held hostage. Like they brought her, the guy that was fighting her, she ran outside naked and then he was fighting her outside.
Disgusting.
And then there was another commotion. She tried to get away. He dragged her back in the house. So now they're at the door, literally fighting. She's trying to get out. He's refusing to let her out. And it's like 7 guys in the house.
Okay. Give me one moment.
There's also a child in danger as well because she has a baby.
What a joke. Well, she's going to regret telling these lies.
Okay, you said the female is naked?
Yeah, she's naked and she's bleeding profusely from her head.
Okay. Can you give me a description of the male?
The male is like has like a caramel complexion, low
Is he
haircut.
black, white, Hispanic, or Asian?
He's black and he drives. I believe. Well,
What
it
color
looks
shirt
like
and
this is
pants do he have on?
a blue, regular blue jeans and like a regular like t-shirt. I'm not
What
sure. I
color
didn't really get
T-shirt?
the. Okay, I'm not sure if it was blue or black.
Okay, dark T-shirt. And what about the female?
She's light skinned and she has black hair. She's probably about 5'3", 130 pounds.
What? Okay. And you said she's naked. Okay, give me one moment. Let me get EMS on the line.
Okay.
You have reached Grady EMS. Do not hang up. Your call will be answered in the order received. You have reached Grady EMS. Do not hang up. Your call will be answered in the order received. You have reached Grady EMS. Do not hang
Hello,
up.
ma'am.
Call
Can
will
you
be
tell me what they're doing right now?
Right now they're still battling. She's trying to get out, and the person is
Okay.
refusing to let her get out.
He's still battling. They know she.
You have reached Grady EMS. Do not hang up. Your call will be answered in the order received.
EMS, what's the address of the emergency?
Hey, Grady, it's Atlanta with a transfer. The caller is advised in 273 William Knott Drive, Southeast. Let me give you a little bit about what's going on at this location. There's a male at the location that's fighting a female. She is naked. A shooting. Shots were fired. About three shots were fired.
Second. Repeat the address for me.
273 William Nye NYE Drive, Southeast.
Oh, okay. Tell me exactly what happened.
Go ahead, caller, and let her know what happened.
Hello.
Well, before I get into that, is this a business house or an apartment?
This is a house, and I think you guys should get here quick because this girl he's really hitting her, and it's a child involved. There is like 7 guys in the house, and they all have guns. You guys need to hurry and get here before she doesn't make it.
Ma'am, we already have help organized for her. What's the phone number you're calling from? Exactly what happened?
There's a situation going on in this house. There's 7 guys that live here, and they're basically, I'm not sure if they're running some type of sex traffic. This individual, she's a 5'2", light-skinned female, black hair. She ran outside naked, bleeding from her face. She tried to get away. She was dragged back into the house, and they're holding her hostage. And then there was a
Revolutionary salute to our brother Lunch Break Chronicles for the donation to the war chest. Revolution is real life. Absolutely appreciate the love, family. Salute to you. Good morning. Say good morning, family. Revolutionary salute. Good morning and revolutionary salute to you, family, for helping me keep the lights on.
The baby involved. So this situation is really serious, and he's punching her. If you guys don't get her, she's going to be really hurt.
Atlanta, what's your operator number?
8715.
Go on way too much in our community. I'm glad to see
you already have PD en route?
This go on every day.
PD has been notified and it's being started.
Okay, stand by for
What's
fire.
your operator? You want fire?
Stand by. I'm not sure if the protocol is going to request it.
Okay.
Are you, ma'am, are you with the patient now?
No, I'm a neighborhood watch. I'm just literally a neighborhood watch. I'm not in the house.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay, no problem. About how old do you think she is?
She has to be about maybe. She looks a little underage, but I don't want to say that. You know, looks could be deceiving. So she is
Nah,
roughly,
under
I'll say
eight.
between,
Trigger word.
let's just say between 18 and 21, somewhere between those. That.
Is she awake?
What do you mean? Is she awake? He's beating her
Is she
bloody.
conscious?
He's beating her bloody. I'm not.
They don't believe
He's
her.
dragged her back in the house,
Is she breathing?
ma'am. He dragged her back in the house.
Okay, I understand that. I'm going to ask you some more questions. I understand you're not able to see what exactly is going on now, but just answer the questions to the best of your ability.
Okay.
What's your address?
Were any weapons involved?
Everyone in the house has weapons.
Okay.
The 7 guys that live there, they're roommates or something like that. I don't know if all 7 lives there, but it's typically about the same amount that's there every day.
Okay. Is there any serious bleeding?
She's bleeding from her face, like the whole front of her face. She's bleeding profusely, and then there's a child involved.
Okay. Is she responding normally?
Are you serious, ma'am?
Yes, I'm serious. I need to know for the paramedics if she's completely alert.
How can I assess if she is alert if I just told you they dragged her back in the house?
So like I advised earlier, just answer to the best of your ability.
She was breathing when she was outside trying to get away.
Hello, caller. If you don't know, you can just say unknown. That'll suffice.
Okay.
Is she having any difficulty breathing?
I don't know.
Thank you for that. Atlanta's not requesting for fire to go out there.
Okay, we do have PD started to this location. 2 officers are en route.
I'm clear on 2 officers en route. Thank you.
All right, Atlanta is disconnecting. All right, thank you, caller.
Gotta stop, man.
Okay, ma'am, I'm sending the paramedics to help.
All right, let's get into who is this Jezebel? What the hell? She's been arrested for that. Let's get into this a little bit more.
People, I thought this day in America would never come, where a woman who did a man wrong will get held accountable. And that's exactly what just happened. This is Demi Blanco. She's the woman who made the fake 911 call that ultimately led to the police showing up at Young Scooter and his homie's function, leading to Young Scooter running away. And
not just that she made the phone call. It's the word she said, the sex trafficking, underage. Everybody got guns. A woman's being beaten. This shit can get you killed when the police show up. She hoped the police killed them niggas.
Ultimately,
It kicked me out. I had to use my Android internet.
Was dating one of his entourage, and she made the call. This is just a brief recap before we get into the new and breaking updates. But Demi made a fake 911 call while young Scooter was chilling with her boyfriend and other people because apparently Demi wasn't there and she was jealous and her boyfriend was chilling with women. So she wanted the party to be over. Even the most scandalous women I know, most of them would probably call and make a noise complaint after things shut down. But no, not her. She took things to the nth degree. A lot of you guys already heard this particular call, but we're going to play it again in every video. So y'all can really just beat it in your head how disgusting and trifling this woman is. Here is the fake 911 call that she made on young Scooter and her boyfriend.
There was literally a shooting. They're like selling drugs in and out of the house. This girl doesn't have on any clothes. They threw her outside. He was fighting the girl. He literally fought the girl. She had someone
I
come
already
over
knew
there.
when I heard it was his partners, one of his partner exes or something of that nature. I said, "Oh my God, she mad. She can't go party with them and future tonight on this man's birthday. She mad. It's gonna be some other. She did all of this, was risking them niggas getting killed or locked up because she couldn't be in the limelight that night. That shit is crazy. But too much of this going on in our neighborhood."
There and they started shooting. But the house needs to be investigated. It was 3 shots.
When did it happen?
It's happening now. Yeah, she's trying to get away and they're holding her. She's being held hostage. Like, there's also a child in danger as well because she has a baby.
Okay, you said the female was naked.
Yeah, she's naked and she's bleeding profusely from her head. This is a house, and I think you guys should get here quick because this girl he's really hitting her, and it's a child involved.
It's a child involved. I'm gonna tell you this one thing. Black people, we don't talk about this shit. It's too many females calling CPS, lying and slandering black, families to try to get the baby if they hating got a brother with another mother or something of that nature. It's a lot of females in the hood doing that shit, calling CPS, trying to get people kids to and putting them people on. I know they over there smoking weed. Shit, they gonna have to take a piss test. All that disgusting ass shit is going on too.
There is like 7 guys in the house, and they all have guns. You guys need to hurry and get here before she doesn't make it.
Ma'am, we already have help organized for her. What's the phone number you're calling from? Exactly what happened?
There's a situation going on in this house. There's 7 guys that live here, and they're basically, I'm not sure if they're running some type of sex traffic. This individual, she's a 5'2", light-skinned female, black hair.
Ma'am, are you with the patient now?
No, I'm a neighborhood watch. I'm just literally a neighborhood watch. I'm not in the house.
Okay.
Oh, no.
I play that audio in almost every video, bro, so y'all can truly understand how disgusting that woman is, bro. So a lot of people was online publicly telling Atlanta PD, yo, why haven't y'all arrested this lady yet, bro? This is her. Go get her. But we weren't really hearing back from Atlanta PD. All right, so then folks began to take things into their own hands. All right, I know a lot of people who was going to locations that she was at. You feel me? All right, so after Atlanta PD began to realize the severity of the situation, they acted fast. Now, apparently, she's been arrested, people, okay? She's been arrested. So on April 1st, 2025, a 31-year-old woman is doing this, bro. You would expect this behavior, well, from no adults, but from possibly like a 19, 20-year-old chick, bro, her first love in college, she's going crazy. But a 31-year-old woman is doing nonsense like this. This is just embarrassing, bro. But what do you expect from a baddie's reject? So on April 1st, 2025, 31-year-old Demetrius Spence was taken into custody by the Atlanta Police Department and charged with transmitting a false public alarm under OCGA 16-1028 subsection D2 if serious bodily harm or death results from the response of a public safety agency. Yes! Yeah. And there's a reason why I'm screaming yes, okay? So transmitting a false public alarm is a misdemeanor. However, If serious bodily harm or death results from the response, it escalates to a felony. Now, we're going to explain the difference between a misdemeanor and a felony in terms of punishment. We're going to explain that shortly in terms of what she's looking forward to. Mrs. Spence was wanted for her involvement in making a false 911 call regarding a person injured / deceased incident that occurred at 273 William Nye Drive, SE on March 28th. Miss Spence was transported to the Fulton County Jail for processing. Oh, bro, you going to Fulton County Jail and you responsible for what took place at Young Scooter? Bro, they finna turn you every way but loose. They finna spank. They finna. Oh, they finna spank and that ass, bro. You is done. Yo, you making it out of Fulton County Jail to me would be like a great feat. Like, you'll be a very strong human being, bro. If you make it out of Fulton County, bro, you better bail out soon. We have to put on the glasses for this one, bro. So according to Justia U.S. law, all right, a person who commits the offense of making an unlawful request for emergency services assistance when he or she knowingly and intentionally transmits in any manner a request for emergency service assistance, knowing at the time of the request for emergency service assistance that there is no reasonable ground for believing the truth of information which forms the basis of such request, and when the request involves or relates to, here's where it gets serious, people, all right, purported destructive device or hazardous substance, right? Now, this don't really apply to her, right? What applies to her goes down right here. What applies to her goes down right here, okay? Except as provided in paragraph 2 of this subsection, a person convicted of a violation of subsection B of this code section shall be punished as for a misdemeanor of a high and aggravated nature, and upon conviction for a second or subsequent violation of subsection B of this code section shall be guilty of a felony and punished by imprisonment for not less than 1 nor more than 10 years, by a fine of not less than 5,000 or both. So here is the requirement. Now, misdemeanor, bro, is like a year in prison. No, but for the felony, no less than a year, no more than 10 years. So she could be in jail for 10 years. And here is the requirement to be charged with the felony. The requirement is if serious bodily harm or death results from the response of a public safety agency, such person shall be guilty of a felony and upon conviction shall be punished by imprisonment for not less than 1 nor more than 10 years and a fine of not less than $5,000. You going to jail, bitch. You going to jail, bitch. You going to jail. Now, I think anything less than 10 years is a grave injustice. This man lost his life. This man died. A father with multiple kids will no longer be here. This woman deserves the full 10 years. And I'm not saying 9 years and 364 days. No, she deserves the full 10 years. Give her 10. She would have probably gotten away with it too if she wasn't so clout depraved that she decided she was going to put her freedom at risk by taking to social media on IG Live to speak about the situation and essentially self-incriminate and give the police everything they wanted. She admitted that she made the 911 call, but then she begins to justify why she made the call, and her justification is so stupid. Let's roll the tape, man.
I'm not looking for any type of clout. I just want to put the truth out. The situation is that I was being beaten by an individual that was connected to the person that I'm not going to say the name. And I was there, and the person was continuously beating me as he's already done this before. And me being a female, I was afraid for my life. So I did what I thought was the best thing to do. I had no intentions that man was there. I never set anybody up. I never had any intentions that man was there. I never knew that man was there. I had no idea of that man's whereabouts. I'm speaking today to clear my name that I had no I had no intentions to set anybody up.
The police have to send Instagram a Christmas card or Thanksgiving greeting card every holiday, bruh. Because ChatGPT to college students is like Instagram to the police. It takes literal no more brain power because these inventions exist. For the police, because of Instagram, they can sit down, drink their coffee, eat their donuts, man, and watch all solve the crime for them. In this particular, in this case, it would be difficult for the police to prove it would be difficult for the police to prove, oh, she didn't just hear it from somebody else, right? Well, she didn't purposely lie if she heard it from somebody else, right? Because again, the statute is you have to knowingly know the information is false while spewing it, right? And you could have probably finagled it. But when you come on Instagram Live and you tell the police, I caught it because he was beating me, huh? You told them that you were neighborhood watch, huh? Hold up, bruh. You told them that they were dragging a woman with a baby back into the house. You told them that the victim may be underage, but you're not sure. You told them the person was bleeding profusely. If you called because they whooped on you, so you were calling the police while you was being dragged and bleeding profusely? You failed to mention that the victim was you? You said shots were fired. You was calling the police in the middle of shots being fired? Why didn't you mention? Come on, bro. When you called, they had to transfer you because you was already in a different jurisdiction. So how was you in a different jurisdiction but claiming that you called because they was whooping on you in that moment? It's over with, bro.
I never set anybody up. I was threatened by an individual. There's a action. There's a reaction for every action. This is part A. You guys didn't have part A. You guys only have part B. And the narrative, it looks like I was trying to set this man up because you guys don't have part B. I'm giving you part B. I'm giving you what led up to the call. I was physically abused, so I called to protect myself. That's the issue. That's part A. I never had any intentions to get anybody hurt.
Yes, you did.
I was the one that was getting hurt. And I came here to say my truth.
That hurt you.
That's it. That's all. I don't want no clout. I don't want anything.
Don't get mad.
All these troll pages. Y'all don't know me. None of y'all know me at all. At the end of the day, I'm a woman. And I was physically abused multiple times.
This is not for her because I'm glad she went on IG Live. But for you other people who I may like, if you commit a crime, man, please don't go on IG Live trying to explain to the world why you did that.
Don't know me. Yes, we do, Delilah. Learned about
that crime. That's usually going to be used in court, all right? But y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, okay? What do y'all think?
Nobody wins when the family feels.
Let me tell you something. This is a bad bitch. You doing too much talking. And you not saying nothing. Let me
There's an action. There's a reaction for every action. This is part A. You guys didn't have part A. You guys only have part B. And the narrative, it looks like I was trying to set this man up because you guys don't have part B.
911 operator 8715. What is the location of your emergency?
The location is 27.
With the transfer. 1 second, ma'am, for 273 William Nye Drive, Southeast.
273 William Nye.
Yeah.
No, it's 273 William. Oh, you said Nye, NYE, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Today we go over the story of a woman who made a false 911 call that led to an Atlanta rapper losing his life. Now, for those who don't know, this story do relate to the Atlanta rapper Young Scooter, him losing his life almost a week ago. And since his demise, the Atlanta Police Department has released a 911 call by a woman who they say fabricated the whole story, which we'll later check out. But most importantly, they also released the exact address, which allowed me to do some more homework to see who owned the house and possibly why Young Scooter was there. And fam, we might got the answer. But fam, we also go over the details on who this suspect is, who some say quite frankly should be charged with murder. Now, for those who don't know, authorities also came out and said that the phone call to Atlanta police was done by a phone that can only make 911 calls, meaning that the phone was cut off. But fam, I did my research on her as well, which we'll later discuss. But let's just say she's not even from Atlanta. And I'm going to say this out the gate. Based on tax records, this young woman possibly rented this house that we'll later discuss out. She was possibly put out a month later, which is why she possibly lied on what was taking place inside that house, wanting police to be involved. So before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I won't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll jump right to it. Fam, meet Demetria Spence. She 31 years old. She from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. According to tax records, she moved to Decatur, Georgia in 2020, staying on the 1100 block of Maple Walk Circle in Decatur, Georgia. During her time in Atlanta, she auditioned for Bad Girls Club on Zeus Network. She didn't make it, but during the auditions, she had her fair share of camera time, having an altercation with another contestant. And during that time, she told the audience that her nickname was Demi Blanco.
Let me tell you something. This is a bad bitch. You doing too much talking. And you not saying nothing. Let me tell you.
Back on March 28, 2025, Demi was at a house at 273 William Knott Drive in Southeast Atlanta. Now, to give you some brief history about this home, and according to tax records, a man who go by the name of Michael Bailey, who's 66 years old at the time, was paying taxes on his house in 2015 when it was purchased for $90,000. And if that last name Bailey sound familiar, well, that's because that's the same last name as the late rapper Young Scooter, whose real name is Kenneth Edward Rashid Bailey. And at this point, at the bare minimum, we know Young Scooter wasn't at a random person's house. This was a home that belongs to someone in his family. Now, it turns out it was more than one person also associated with that address throughout the years since 2011 when it was first constructed. And I did some more research, and I possibly found out why. This home was turned into a rental, listed for around $2,300 a month, and according to MLS, a renter accepted these terms just this past February in 2025. And it makes you wonder, was Demi the renter? Especially after giving her response since the release of the 911 call knowing she was wanted. But before that response, check out the 911 call.
To 911 operator 8715. What is the location of your emergency?
The location is
This is the cab with the transfer. 1 second, ma'am, for 273 William Nye Drive, Southeast.
273 William Nye.
Yeah.
No, it's 27. It's 273 William. Oh, you said Nye, NYE, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you to cab. Hello, caller.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Do you need police, fire, EMS?
Actually, both. If you could say both. There was literally a shooting. The house, literally the neighbors next door, the house of the address that I just gave you, the 273. There is literally a whole domestic dispute going on. There's like 7 guys that live in this house. And
What's your
then,
name?
I'm sorry, what is my name?
Okay. Okay. Tell me exactly what happened.
Okay, so I'm the neighborhood watch, and basically like I said, these guys they're like selling drugs in and out of the house. All you see is guys coming in and out of the house with guns and stuff. They holding guns in the air, and then it's like I'm not sure if they're pimping, but it's the situation that's going on right now. This girl doesn't have on any clothes. They threw her outside. He was fighting the girl. He literally fought the girl. I'm not sure what they was fighting over. If they was fighting over drugs, that's what it sounded like. It sounded like they were fighting over drugs. And then they started shooting. She had someone come over there, and they started shooting. But the house needs to be investigated. They're definitely doing illegal stuff over there, and it's disturbing the area.
How many shots were fired?
I would say 3. It was 3 shots.
When did it happen?
It's happening now.
Okay.
So I believe the girl is hurt,
And
and
they're
that's why
coming
I say
from 273 William Knott Drive.
that's that. Yes, and the girl is hurt because she was like bleeding profusely, like blood.
Revolutionary salute to our brother Andre Tony for the donation to the war chest. Revolution is with life. Absolutely appreciate the love, family. Salute.
Everywhere.
Okay. Do you see or hear anything else?
Yeah, she's trying to get away, and they're holding her. She's being held hostage. Like she's trying to. They brought her. The guy that was fighting her,
in Wisconsin.
he ran outside naked, and then he was fighting her outside. And then there was another commotion. She tried to get away. He dragged her back in the house. So now they're at the door, literally fighting. She's trying to get out. And he's refusing to let her out. And it's like 7 guys in the house.
Okay.
7 guys. She want a bunch of cops to come.
Give me one moment.
There's also a child in danger as well because she has a baby.
Okay, you said the female is naked?
Yeah, she's naked and she's bleeding profusely from her head.
Okay. Can you give me a description of the male?
The male is like has like a caramel complexion, low haircut.
Is he black, white, Hispanic, or Asian?
He's black and he drives. I believe.
What
Well,
color
it looks
shirt
like
and
this
pants do he have on?
Blue, regular blue jeans and like a regular like t-shirt. I'm not sure. I didn't really get this. Okay, I'm not sure if it was blue or black.
Okay, dark t-shirt. And what about the female?
She's light skinned and she has black hair. She's probably about 5'3", 130 pounds.
What? Okay. And you said she's naked. Okay, give me one moment. Let me get EMS on the line.
Okay.
They met the wrong group.
You have reached Grady EMS. Do not hang up. Your call will be answered in the order received. You have reached Grady EMS. Do not hang up. Your call will be answered in the order received. You have reached Grady EMS. Do not hang
Hello,
up.
ma'am. Can you tell me what they're doing right now?
Right now they're still battling. She's trying to get out, and the person is refusing to let her get out.
You have reached Grady EMS. Do not hang up. Your call will be answered in the order received.
EMS, what's the address of the emergency?
Hey, Grady, it's Atlanta with a transfer. The caller is advised in 273 William Knott Drive, Southeast. Let me give you a little bit about what's going on at this location. There's a male at the location that's fighting a female. She is naked. A shooting. Shots were fired. About 3 shots were fired.
Repeat the address for me.
273 William Nye NYE Drive, Southeast.
As she say, it's drugs, trafficking.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
It's underage women.
Go ahead, caller, and let her know what happened.
Women being beat.
Hello.
Well, before I get into that, is this a business house or an
Everyone got a
apartment?
gun.
This is a house, and I think you guys should get here quick because this girl he's really hitting her, and it's a child involved. There is like 7 guys in the house, and they all have guns.
Wow.
You guys need to hurry and get here before she doesn't make it.
Ma'am, we already have help organized for her. What's the phone number you're calling from? Exactly what happened?
There's a situation going on in this house. There's 7 guys that live here, and they're basically, I'm not sure if they're running some type of sex traffic. This individual, she's a 5'2", light-skinned female, black hair. She ran outside naked, bleeding from her face. She tried to get away. She was dragged back into the house, and they're holding her hostage. And then there was a baby involved. So this situation is really serious, and he's punching her. If you guys don't get her, she's going to be really hurt.
Atlanta, what's your operator number?
8715.
And you already have PD en route?
PD has been notified and it's being started.
Okay, stand by for
What's
fire.
your operator? You want fire?
Stand by. I'm not sure if the protocol has been requested.
Okay.
Are you, ma'am, are you with the patient now?
No, I'm a neighborhood watch. I'm just literally a neighborhood watch. I'm not in the house.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay, no problem. About how old do you think she is?
She has to be about...
And how they never asked this lady one time, where are you at? How can you see this? They never asked her, are you next to her neighbor? Like, what? Y'all don't want to know where she at? And y'all not looking at y'all phone to see this lady is not nowhere near that sheet, the address. And I know goddamn well y'all see where this lady calling from. That's bullshit. Y'all don't see this lady not nowhere near, is nowhere in the world she could be describing something. Is she in a whole nother county? That shit is crazy.
Maybe she looks a little underage, but I don't want to say that. You know, looks could be deceiving. So she's roughly, I'll say let's just say between 18 and 21, somewhere between that.
Is she awake?
What do you mean? Is she awake? He's beating her bloody.
Conscious?
He's beating her bloody. He's dragged her back in the house.
Is she breathing?
Ma'am, he dragged her back in the house.
Okay, I understand that. I'm going to ask you some more questions. I understand you're not able to see what exactly is going on now, but just answer the questions to the best of your ability.
Okay.
Were any weapons involved?
Everyone in the house has weapons.
That's crazy.
Okay.
The 7 guys that live there, they're roommates or something like that. I don't know if all 7 lives there, but it's typically about the same amount that comes.
She giving the police a reason to show up aggressive, screaming, hollering. Hey! They think they're dealing with 7 gangsters with guns, human trafficking and kidnapping young underage girls and minor and kids is in danger. That's crazy. She put a target on. She knew exactly what the fuck she was doing. She was putting the cops on them brothers to hunt them, do whatever they want.
That's there every day.
Okay. Is there any serious bleeding?
She's bleeding from her face, like the whole front of her face. She's bleeding profusely, and then there's a child involved.
Okay. Is she responding normally?
Are you serious, ma'am?
Yes, I'm serious. I need to know for the paramedics if she's completely alert.
How can I assess if she is alert if I just told you they dragged her back in the house?
So like I've asked earlier, just answer to the best of your ability.
She was breathing when she was outside trying to get away.
Hello, caller. If you don't know, you can just say unknown. That'll suffice.
Okay.
Is she having any difficulty breathing?
I don't know.
Thank you for that. Atlanta's not requesting for fire to go out there.
Okay, we do have PD started to this location. 2 officers are en route.
I'm clear on 2 officers en route. Thank you.
All right, Atlanta is disconnecting. All right, thank you, caller.
Okay, ma'am, I'm sending the paramedics to help.
So shortly after the 911 call, police had arrived at the home. A man opened the door.
They didn't believe her. if all that she just told them, and they say 2 officers en route, they knew something didn't smell right about this motherfucking story right here. They knew this probably one of those fake CPS callers who try to slander women and black men. That's what it sounded like. They didn't believe her.
It was police that slammed it closed. Police set up. They noticed 2 men run out the back door. One of them happens to be Kenneth Bailey, aka Young Scooter. The other man had ended up coming back to the house. According to the police report, as mentioned in the first video, Young Scooter had jumped 2 fences. It was a wooden fence, and authorities had located him on the other side of the fence and saying a serious injury to his leg before transporting him to Grady Hospital, where he unfortunately succumbed to his injuries. But shortly after, Atlanta police realized that the 911 call was a big lie.
The first being from the 200 block of William Nye Drive in Zone 3, officers responded to a dispute with a weapon. It was advised in the call remarks that shots were fired and a female was dragged back into the location. Once officers arrived, they knocked on the door. A male opened the door and immediately shut the door on the officers. The officers then established a perimeter. During the process of establishing the perimeter, 2 males fled out of the rear of the house. 1 male returned back into the house. The other male jumped 2 fences as he was fleeing. When officers located him on the other side of the fence, he appeared to have suffered an injury to his leg. Officers rendered aid, and he was transported to Grady Hospital, where he was pronounced deceased. That male is going to be a 39-year-old male out of Atlanta. Just to be very clear, the injury that was sustained was not via the officers on scene. It was when the male was fleeing.
And Young Thug is a perverted little cross-dressing demon too. Why did he put out yesterday on April Fool's Day that the police, he didn't stop playing like that, that the police killed this man, the evidence that came back. Remember, yesterday was April Fool's, and I see Future reacted to that, but I don't think Future found that shit funny what Young Thug posted yesterday. Lying.
Now, when Demi realized she had a warrant for her arrest for lying to police, which led to Young Scooter losing her life, people quickly found out who she was and went to her social media. She decided to go live, and this was her response.
There's a reaction for every action. This is part A. You guys didn't have part A. You guys only have part B. And the narrative, it looks like I was trying to set this man up because you guys don't have part B. I'm giving you part B. I'm giving you what led up to the call. I was physically abused, so I called to protect myself. That's the issue.
Nice.
That's part A. I never had any intentions to get anybody hurt.
Yes, you did.
I was the one that was getting hurt.
That's a lie.
And I came here to say my truth. That's it. That's all. I don't want no clout. I don't want anything.
Yes.
All these troll pages, y'all don't know me. None of y'all know me at all. At the end of the day, I'm a woman. And I was physically abused multiple times.
That ain't gonna work.
Now, fam, it's important to know this. According to Atlanta Police Department, Demi wasn't at the scene. And we don't know truly why she called police. It could have been for someone. She could have been kicked out. But what we do know is that Young Scooter ran just to run from the police, not knowing truly why they was there. And last but not least, he wasn't at just a random person's house. The house was associated to someone in his family. Now, on April 1st, 2025, it wasn't April Fool's for Demi because she was booked into Fulton County Jail after a 4-day search. Her arrest came hours after Young Thug had tweeted that Young Scooter had allegedly got shot. But according to Atlanta Police Department, the medical examiner said otherwise. It was due to
is a cross-dressing buster for that. There's no time to be playing games on the internet. He done mind his fucking business. That's serious business. That wasn't cute. That man was not shot by the police. That's bullshit. See, when people do that, you gotta see what the fuck is going on. Way else is trying to clout the motherfucking case. Black Lives Matter ass nigga.
Was injury from hitting a wooden fence while jumping over.
Police say the 911 call that led to the death of rapper Young Scooter was a lie. Police arrested the woman who made that 911 call earlier tonight.
Fox 5's Tom Haynes joins us with the details. Tom, what are we finding out?
Well, startling development considering the context of that call, Courtney and Russ. Atlanta police officers say that took the 31-year-old Demetria Spence into custody within the last few hours. Investigators now say that 911 call led to the death of 39-year-old rapper Young Scooter. This all started Friday in southeast Atlanta, where investigators say Spence told 911 operators there was something seriously wrong at a home on William Nye Drive. In audio obtained by Fox 5, Spence claims a woman with a child was bleeding and shots were fired.
I think you guys should get here quick because this girl he's really hitting her, and it's a child involved. This girl doesn't have on any clothes. They threw her outside. He was fighting the girl.
Police now say Spence made that call from a 911 only phone, and it was a lie. When officers got to the home, they say the two men ran out the back door. One of those men was rapper Young Scooter, whose real name is Kenneth Bailey. Police say Bailey injured himself jumping over a fence, and today the medical examiner ruled Bailey died from a penetrating injury to his right thigh. They say that his death was accidental. APD has stressed that social media posts claim Bailey was shot by officers. Well, that's false. The department has insisted no officers fired their weapons at the scene. Demetria Spence is now charged with transmitting a false public alarm. She's being held in the Fulton County Jail. Meantime, APD has not provided a motive for that call. But in the aftermath of what happened after that call was placed, someone wound up losing their life.
Yeah, a surprising turn of events with this situation. Tom, thanks.
Sure. Thanks.
It's a crazy story. As we head out, send 11 prayers to Young Scooter's family, and especially his kids, man. To know this man lost his life due to a false 911 call is crazy. But fam, knowing what you know, how you feel Demi should be held responsible? What charges you think best suit the allegations put forth against her? Talk to me in the comments. We got a lot to catch up on. Be on the lookout for a lot of content, especially
Mont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes before gang violence ultimately took his life. Gang violence that was orchestrated by adults in our city. And cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been. And in the subsequent days, we saw homicides and shootings, and ultimately the deaths of 2 children as a result of his cowardly actions. And you know who you are. And I tell you that this team will work relentlessly to hold you and the persons that you are affiliated with responsible for those actions.
So that was a press conference that was held last month by the Atlanta Police Department after a fatal shooting in Southwest Atlanta that ended up killing 2 13-year-olds and wounding an 11-year-old. Authorities alleged that shooting stemmed from an escalating gang tension between Lil Baby's 4PF and another gang out of Atlanta called OMF, or Only My Family. And they said that specific incident escalated after Lil Baby went to his ops hood in 2024 to shoot a music video. It's something that I covered extensively on my channel. And in fact, the whole Lil Baby saga and 4PF saga is something that I've been covering on my channel throughout the years. I feel like we have this conversation at least once every 12 months, but it does seem like all of the speculation may be coming to a head and that this conversation about a 4PF RICO may actually be coming to fruition. Now, that clip that we watched at the beginning, that was a press conference that was held after those 2 13-year-olds died. And while 4PF wasn't the person that did that shooting, you could clearly hear the police officer say that he intended on holding 4PF responsible because Lil Baby went to his ops hood to shoot a music video. So they kind of look at that as a catalyst for why all of this went down. And as y'all know, when kids start becoming victims of these type of crimes, the police tend to move pretty fast. And so after this happened, we did see the police move in and actually indict the Goodfellas gang.
Atlanta police now blame the deaths of 2 Atlanta teens last summer on a violent street gang in our community.
Just hours ago, APD announced they now have charged 7 people with the murders.
Atlanta police say these are the innocent faces of gang violence in Atlanta. 2 of them, 13-year-old boys Jacody Davis and Lamont Freeman, were killed. And 11-year-old Dontavius Davis was wounded last July in a shooting on Spark Street. APD says Freeman was killed on his 13th birthday. Investigators blame the deadly shooting on a local rapper. They said the attack was in retaliation for the rapper entering a rival gang's territory to film a music video. Authorities say a high-ranking member of the Goodfellas gang who was incarcerated orchestrated the attack using a smuggled cell phone. Following those instructions, the suspects opened fire at an apartment complex where the 3 young teens were gathered to celebrate Freeman's birthday. Police say they weren't the targets. Those arrested were identified as Keontae Sanders, Richard Hollis, Reginald Thomas, DeKeithion Mobley, Marcus Crawford, Tradon Crawford, and Allie Caldwell. The final 2 were arrested Tuesday.
All right, so all of this goes down. The police swoop in, they arrest and indict all of these guys that are involved in the Goodfellas gang. They make it a point to name drop Lil Baby and try to tie 4PF as a group to this entire thing going down. And so that brings us to where we are today, which is these guys have been in court. Right? They've been battling these charges and some interesting information has started to come out. So we've got this tweet right here from Infamous Sylvia, right? She's a journalist. She's been covering a lot of this stuff going on in Atlanta, like the YSL trial. Anyways, she's been present in the courtroom for this trial for the Goodfellas. And she sent out this tweet that said, investigator Viverito is on the stand. That's one of the investigators that was working this case. She said, we are listening to wiretapped phone calls. All right. So she's saying that they had wiretaps in place for Goodfellas. I'm assuming if they had wiretaps on them, they probably have wiretaps on Lil Baby. But anyways, she continued. She said someone mentioned in one of those wiretap phone calls that Lil Baby had tickets on some people's heads. Tickets obviously being a bag or a price tag, right? Basically, allegedly in these wiretap phone calls, someone was saying that Lil Baby had put money in the streets to get some of these guys gone. And that is very, very
revolutionary salute to our Queen Blanche for getting her membership to the House of Revolution and helping me keep the lights on. Revolution is a way of life. Absolutely appreciate the love, Queen. Salute to you.
Interesting to say the least. Now, even though these guys are in court, they're facing these charges, it seems like the sliding is still going on, right? Because on the 29th of March, this article right here came out that says man shot and killed in Southeast Atlanta, police say. And article has a very few details, but it says at around 11:50 p.m. on Friday, officers were called to an address on Lakewood Avenue where they found a 27-year-old man with a gunshot wound. He was taken to Grady Memorial Hospital where he later died. Right? That's all of the details that were provided. But another journalist coming out of Atlanta named George Chitty, y'all may have seen him. He did some Vlad TV interviews and things like that when the YSL trial was going down. And he kind of helped add some context to this news story. He sent this, I don't know if I'm going to call it a tweet or what, because it was sent on the Blue Sky platform, but he sent this out and it said, it appears that the murder victim is Keontae Davis, a defendant in a murder case involving 4PF gang members. He then said the medical examiner's office confirmed that it was Davis. Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis began preparing a RICO case involving 4PF and an offshoot of the Goodfellas prison gang. The offshoot is OMF, even as the YSL case was plotting through court. I sense that the death of Davis here will accelerate things. He continued, he said 4PF is Dash was the label that Lil Baby produced music through. It's also a violent street gang that has both victimized and been victimized in this gang war. Davis, which is the guy that just died on the 29th, was a co-defendant of Nathan Benford, also known as 4PF Nate, who was sentenced to 20 years for murdering a man named Jaquavius Wilson in 2023. The DOJ indicted 8 members of the Goodfellas gang a couple of weeks ago and have received an order to seal some of the documents in the case because the Goodfellas are expected to murder snitches. Similarly, the death of Davis may also be a reprisal for cooperating in the plea deal on the Wilson murder. Right? So y'all listen to what George is saying. He's saying that this guy that died, Davis, was a cooperating witness against 4PF Nate, and that he believes that Davis was killed because of that. George continued, he said, the pace of murder and retaliation is accelerating, which is why I would be unsurprised if Fannie Willis pulls the trigger on a RICO for the Goodfellas defendants and 4PF sooner than later. What isn't clear is whether Lil Baby himself will be wrapped up in it, never mind other marquee rappers. Now, in addition to these posts that he made over on Blue Sky, George also wrote this article right here about Young Scooter and quote unquote the next RICO coming out of Atlanta. Now, we're not going to focus on the Young Scooter part of this article in this video. Instead, I want to focus on what he says about this 4PF RICO because he does add a little bit more context. So he lays out that Davis was a co-defendant in the murder trial of Jaquavius Wilson. He was also a cooperating witness because he took a plea deal, and part of his plea bargain was that he had to give some information. So he lays that out again and states that may be the reason that he was killed. But at the end of this article, there is an interesting paragraph. Right here, it says, Sean Hoover, who manages the Georgia Public Defenders Council's specialized unit on gang cases, says his office is actively preparing for a racketeering indictment on 4PF and the OMF cases, and that he expects Lil Baby to be indicted with the others. So to clarify, this guy Sean Hoover is the person who manages the Public Defender's Office, which is, made for people who get in trouble but can't afford their own attorney. When you get arrested and they say if you can't afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. That normally comes through the Public Defender's Office. George is saying that he spoke with this Sean Hoover guy, and Sean Hoover told him that his public defender's office is actively preparing to take on clients who are going to be hit with a racketeering indictment, and he specifically named 4PF. He also said that he believes Lil Baby will be indicted along with 4PF. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not looking good for Lil Baby. When the public defender's office is gearing up to represent members of your gang because they anticipate that they won't have money for lawyers, and you got the police calling you out saying that they're gonna hold you responsible, and you got somebody like Fannie Willis who has been heavy on the gang indictments since she got in office, when you got somebody like her behind the scenes trying to make it all come together, I mean, it just don't look good for Lil Baby. Honestly, I would not be surprised if we see Lil Baby get indicted in the next, 60 to 90 days, right? We've seen them already indict the Goodfellas or OMF. We know that normally these type of indictments are dual indictments. They're not just going to go get one side, they're going to get both sides. Think YSL and YFN, right? That's exactly what they did to Young Thug and YFN Lucci. I'm not going to be surprised when this all goes down is what I'm saying. But for right now, man, that's what we got. That's the
This fraud of a detective, Verito the Vixen, as I call her, who lied her way to the edges of perjury during the YSL trial, is apparently the one being used to indict Lil Baby on RICO charges. And we found this out actually at the Goodfellas Lil Baby Ops RICO grand jury indictment today. So we're going to review that shortly, but let's just rewind a little bit to give you guys some insight on what's going on. If you are a Lil Baby fan, it's gonna be a hard couple of months for you, bruh, because this Lil Baby situation feels like the Atlanta police They're just committed to trying to get Lil Baby locked up. It don't matter, even if they feel like they can't win the case, getting him off the streets for a year or two as he fight this RICO is their goal. Shout out my guy, Bradford Cohen, man. He's Kodak Black's lawyer, Drake's lawyer. He actually gave a take on his Lil Baby situation that I believe it's pretty much what's going to happen. So he says they're trying to say that Lil Baby is going to get indicted. We all know how that goes in Atlanta. Those prosecutors can't get out of their own way. Another clown show if that happens. Shout out to Brad, man. We talk often in the DMs, and he's coming out to do an interview with me in LA soon, probably next week or so. But Brad is sitting back like a lot of us, just observing what's going on. He sees the Atlanta police chief tells Lil Baby.
And I tell you that this team will work relentlessly to hold you and the persons that you are affiliated with responsible for those actions.
We're gonna hold you and your associates accountable because Lil Baby filming a music video in the hood of a rival, and the music video got shot up. So Baby and them responded back by shooting and killing one of the rivals, and then the rivals responded back by shooting and killing two 13-year-olds. Atlanta PD is blaming Lil Baby for that, claiming that Lil Baby is responsible because he filmed a music video in Goodfellas territory. And then we sit back and we watch them arrest Goodfellas for RICO, and then Lil Baby name is being mentioned throughout the entire grand jury. Like it's like, bro, is this about Goodfellas or about Lil Baby? It don't make sense. And then we sit back and we see the Georgia Public Defender's Office saying, yeah, we expect the RICO to come soon. We're preparing staff right now to make sure that we have enough people to represent any of the defendants in the 4PF RICO who needs, a public defender. So it's already a done deal. Like, the RICO is coming for Lil Baby, but the thing is, what exactly is the RICO going to be for, right? Like, for all the instances they bring up, it involves everybody else but Lil Baby.
One by one, the suspects charged in the 2024 murders of 13-year-old Lamont Freeman and his friend 13-year-old Jacody Davis took their seats inside a Fulton County courtroom for day 3 of a preliminary hearing, which will determine if there's sufficient evidence for the men to stand trial.
So I think that we are ready to begin.
An APD detective who asked us not to show her face because she's involved in undercover investigations took the stand for more than 2 hours. She testified that investigators used social media posts and wiretaps to determine that the 7 defendants are members or associates of the Goodfellas criminal street gang. Police say the shooting stemmed from a gang war sparked by rapper Lil Baby, who they claim is affiliated with the rival criminal street gang 4PF. Last May, police say the hip-hop superstar filmed a music video in their territory and multiple people were shot.
I'm not going to lie. This is absurdity to heights I've never seen before. They're doing all of this, claiming that a gang war was started because Lil Baby filmed a music video in the ops territory. Now, I'll be real. Do I believe that Lil Baby should have been more responsible? Because, like, the optics of you being a multi-millionaire coming to these people's neighborhood in your multi-million-dollar bulletproof trucks, bringing a lot of chaos there and then leaving to go to your mansion, the optics is horrible, bro. But to paint it as this man started a gang war and he has to be held responsible for it, it's kind of like, bro, like, come on, bro.
Which investigators say sparked a gang war. The attorney for Lil Baby called those claims complete and total nonsense and added that his client had absolutely nothing to do with those shootings. During cross-examination today, defense attorney Brian Tevis criticized the investigation and claimed that investigators did not have any evidence that proves his client was involved or even in a gang.
I've been photographed with Chief Justice John Roberts. Am I a member of the Supreme Court?
Is the Supreme Court a gang?
Well, they're affiliated. In fact, there's 3 or more members, and if any of them commits a crime, you would say they're in a gang, right?
If they commit criminal street gang activity.
That's a good argument, but that argument isn't being used on Lil Baby's behalf because Lil Baby is like the gang leader of 4PF. He is the leader. That's being used on one of the members of Lil Baby's ops, Goodfellas, right? They're all in right now on a RICO. One of the dudes, his lawyer, who's currently representing him, he wasn't even present when the 2 13-year-olds got killed. But because he hangs with these dudes, because he's a part of, I guess, whatever they got going on, he's now dragged in on a RICO, and he's being charged as well for the murder of 2 13-year-olds.
Yeah, some of the back and forth that we saw during cross-examination. Now, again, this is going to continue next Monday at 12:30, and at that point, the judge will decide if there's enough evidence for these suspects to stand trial. We're live in downtown Atlanta. Michael Seiden, Channel 2 Action News.
Here's the crazy part. Goodfellas ain't even been indicted by a grand jury yet. They got brought in due to probable cause, and they're being detained due to the nature of the crime. So they're still going through the grand jury process to try to figure out if there's probable cause to formally indict them on charges. Verito the Vixen is listed as a gang expert. So essentially, she goes undercover because she looks the way she does. She gets entangled with these gangbangers, take the information they give them and then use it against them in court. So she took the stand today at the Goodfellas grand jury hearing, I believe. And during this hearing, she said a couple things that relates to Lil Baby that we have to discuss. All right, so let's get into it.
All right, and this investigation began with your looking at the certain Instagram page, and whose was that?
The Instagram page belonged to Keontae Sanders, also known as Midnight.
Okay. And while looking at that page, you found some direct message communications, one of which showed a disappearing message between Mr. Sanders and somebody named Mr. Smith.
Once I received his Instagram returns back, yes.
Okay, and then what did that message consist of?
It was a photo that Mr. Smith had taken of himself, but had put the word J-Shot across it and sent it in the disappearing message mode.
Just a brief interruption. Being a criminal is so difficult, bro. And I hope all you criminals and street dudes is listening, bro. She just said that they recovered the messages that was sent in disappearing mode. Y'all be thinking that things like Snapchat and Instagram disappearing mode, those things are Fed-proof. They're not Fed-proof at all, bro. Being a criminal is so hard nowadays, bro. The messages that quote-unquote disappeared on Instagram for you is still being hosted. And they was able to pull the messages that was sent in disappearing mode, self-snitching, and use it to indict them on a RICO. Oh, my. Yo, the streets is cold, bro.
All right, this is what's coming up now is already admitted into evidence. Is this the message that was sent?
It is.
And so that was Martavius Smith sent that to Mr. Sanders.
He did.
All right, now, what was significant about that to you?
I knew that J-Shot or John Smith was a close associate of the leader of 4PF, Dominique Lil Baby Jones.
And 4PF, as you testified already, was a gang that you recognized as being in a rivalry with the Goodfellas, and in particular, the only My Family subset of the Goodfellas?
And their associates, yes.
Okay. And how did you know this about John J-Shot Smith, that he was a member of 4PF?
He can be seen out there on his Instagram. He can be seen pictured with Mr. Jones. He frequents the area where the homicide occurred as well. He's filmed a music video out there.
I hope you rappers is listening. This is such an eye-opener. If let's say you have a homie, right? And your homie, let's say he comes around, he's repping the squad 4PF, but your homie has some side beef and your homie's got homies of himself. If your homie gets killed by, let's say, his ops, and then your homies' homies come back and kill somebody, and a gang war ignite, you're now the crime boss, even though you have nothing to do with whatever personal beef he has with those people, and his homies is involved. You are now automatically involved because he's in your entourage, and you brought him around, and he's in the music videos, and he's around you, and he's banging 4PF for the clout. You are now involved.
They just want you,
and they're going to include you as a gang leader.
See,
and
they
say that you are the.
They know in them crews, they already know they get to charging people with crimes they didn't commit. They already know you ain't gonna do no murder. They already know you're gonna tell. But this is the problem with these gangs and organizations. Anyway, I done said this shit. Niggas don't be understanding what the fuck RICO is. If you claim a gang like the Big U shit, if you claim a set and the police come in. You don't have to commit the murder. You don't have to commit the car jacket. You don't have to have sold any drugs. You don't have to did any pimping. You don't have to do any jugging. You don't have to be the bank robber. If you're part of a gang and they've been doing that, they can charge you with all that other shit. That's how they get y'all to snitch.
The catalyst for a gang war that had nothing to do with you. These people cold, man.
All right. So the music video, is that something that you've seen?
It is.
Where'd you see it?
I believe it was on the YouTube account belonging to Mr. Smith.
All right, and permission to publish a brief clip of that video, Your Honor.
Granted.
All right.
You want to play a video?
Investigator Bill Rito. If you'll look at the monitor in front of you. Is this the music video that you were referring to?
I'd have to see the title of it.
J-Shot Who Want Problems music video?
Yes, that's the one I'm referring to.
All right. And there are certain shots of this video that are at the 1043 Spark Street location?
Yeah, one just flashed on the screen.
Okay, so we've already seen a portion of that then?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so you saw this video, and then you saw that the artist that's depicted in this video, John J. Smith, was also the person depicted in the disappearing message. And on what day was that message sent?
Sent on June 30th. I believe it was read on July 1st.
From what I've gathered, it's unclear why they sent J-Shot pictures and disappearing messages. I'm not sure, all right, because J-Shot is still alive and well. Maybe they were plotting on J-Shot, but nonetheless, though, they have those messages. Now, they also have a wiretap of them having a conversation. Now, on that wiretap, though, one of them actually implicated Lil Baby and said they feel like Lil Baby got money on their heads.
Sanders, the wiretap target, an unidentified gentleman that goes by the name Unk, or he's being referred to as Unk.
I'm going to object to this slide again. If they're about to play the call, but her conclusions and her interpretation is not the evidence.
Well, I think she was just identifying who was on the call, so I'm going to overrule. Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, what's up? Oh, what's going on? Man, them folks, like, come on, bro, you know what's finna go on. Like, how the hell you can, you know what I'm saying? They ain't even like that, man. Them folks got tickets on a lot of these folks, I'm telling you.
We just heard somebody say these folks got tickets on these people. We know what's going on. First of all, who was that said that about the tickets?
Unk, the unidentified male that was being referred to as Unk.
And he's speaking with Mr. Sanders.
Correct.
And what, in your experience, do you know what tickets are?
A price on somebody's head.
What do you mean by, what do you mean on somebody's head? What is that?
Like a bounty.
Okay. To have them arrested?
Harmed or killed.
And who were they referring to in that portion of the call?
They were saying that they had heard that Dominique Jones had tickets on a lot of people's heads.
Dominique Jones had wanted to have people harmed.
Correct.
All right, moving on.
To me, this is nonsense and BS, bro. Ops being paranoid because they are out here harming people who are close to me, being paranoid that me, the bagman, me, the rich rapper, may have some money on their heads because they're doing foul things. That's y'all proof that I'm involved in this gang war? That's y'all proof that I should be brought in for a RICO? I think it's insane, bro, right? Now, listen, bro. At this point, bro, we got to stop using, like, Varito the Vixen as a gang expert or as anybody credible, bro. Like, have y'all forgotten, like, the YSL trial where even the judge got frustrated at Varito because Varito was on that stand, bro, spewing nonsense, dodging questions, being uncredible?
Mr. Shart asked you a very specific question, and you seem to have answered in a way that surprises everybody. So we need to get some clarity from you. Okay, so can you listen really carefully to what his question is and answer that question? And then if your answer is still the same, we need to ask some follow-up of you. I mean, okay, go ahead.
In the songs that we reviewed, Mr. Stillwell claimed to have beat a homicide, correct? Or
Correct.
beat a murder rap, beat a homicide.
Correct.
Okay. Did he in fact beat a murder rap or beat a homicide, as he claimed?
I think he.
Go ahead and explain it now because the jury's not in here.
Yes,
We're just
yeah.
trying to sort out what
I
it
think
is.
from my understanding of Mr. Stillwell back in that time, he was under the impression that the Donovan Thomas case had been, that they were going to beat it. Like they were about to beat it or it was beat or it wasn't going to be an issue. I didn't want to say that because I didn't know.
Well, that's good that you didn't say
Yes.
that. But that's not the question that he asked
I'm
at
not
the
asking
time.
what Mr. Stillwell thought.
But Rito the Vixen don't even pretend to be a credible source. So the fact that they're now using her to indict Lil Baby, it's kind of like, bruh, really, bruh? Now, she's at the key of this, by the way. Like, she's the one who is testifying that Lil Baby is a gang leader. Lil Baby, is the gang leader of 4PF. He's the one who started this gang war. Lil Baby got money on people's heads. And apparently they done bought it enough to where the public defender office has already got word we're bringing a RICO on 4PF and Lil Baby shortly in 90 days. Y'all get ready. This is sick, man. This is some sick stuff, bro. Y'all let me know in the comment section, man.
I don't know. I'm kind of watching some of these things here. I don't know if we should switch off of this topic. Yo, this Lil Baby stuff is kind of crazy, right? Yo, watch Baby hit me up and think that I started this. Like, I did not start this. Okay? But they are. So let me give you a little context. It appears that this 4PF RICO, if it does happen, I don't know if it will, but we're hearing from a journalist named George Cheedy, really reputable guy out of Atlanta. He claims that the public defender's office, the guy who leads it in Georgia, because here's what happened in the YSL case. In the YSL case, they had a hard time kind of starting the trial. And the reason why they had a hard time starting the trial, a lot of people didn't have representation. They indicted so many people that needed different representation because the conflict of interest, if representation are the same, and they were having a hard time getting everybody represented. Also, the public defenders themselves didn't really like defending the YSL clients because those public defenders are saying, yo, this trial is going to last for 2 years. And they didn't like that as well. So what's ended up happening, though, from my understanding, is that in Atlanta, it's a little hot. And bodies are getting dropped. And along with bodies getting dropped, bystanders are dying. So there are 2 kids that died as a result of a shootout or a shooting that supposedly happened where police are calling it a retaliatory shooting because they felt that Baby did a video in a rival territory and there was a shooting at that video. So they're saying there was a shooting at that video, then there was a retaliatory shooting, and then 2 kids died. Now, these are really like loose. Like, and to be truth be told, I don't know why we're just hearing Baby's name so many times with this, but the police did come out and pretty much blame Lil Baby. He said this was irresponsible to shoot the music video at this place, knowing there would be violence, right? I'm going to play this video, and then we're going to get into a couple other ones, and then we'll get to the current information about what supposedly is happening. Sorry.
Related shooting on the city's southwest side that claimed the lives of 2 13-year-old boys. 11 Alive's Erica Murphy joining us live from APD headquarters with a look at where this case stands tonight. Erica, we know that this deadly shooting took place in July. What led police to these 2 arrests?
Well, let me say that Atlanta police and the FBI field headquarters here in Atlanta say that they have been working for over 5,000 hours on this case, investigating this double deadly fatal shooting that took the lives of 2 teens on the city's southwest side. Today, police announced that they've made several arrests in this case, and recently 2 men were taken into custody. They also have implicated Atlanta-based rapper Lil Baby. The shooting happened in July at the Oakland City West End Apartments during a birthday celebration for Lamont Freeman, who was just turning 13. Lamont's friend Jacoby Davis was also killed, and another boy was shot but lived. Atlanta police say the shooting is related to a gang rivalry that ignited over Lil Baby's video shoot. Now, police say they've arrested 7 people, but recently took Ali Caldwell and Traydon Crawford into custody. The children had absolutely nothing to do with either of these gangs, according to investigators.
This Lamont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes before gang violence ultimately took his life. Gang violence that was orchestrated by adults in our city, and cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been.
Now, so what we're seeing from this George Cheedy, and also Sylvia tweets is that essentially they're saying that they believe, and let me see if I get to George Cheedy. Where is his shit? Is it this? Right here. Sorry, Chad. I think I got allergies. Okay. Now, Okay, here we go. So they're saying 4PF Nate drew a 20-year prison sentence in a negotiated plea, and he pled to a lesser charge, and he was serving 15 when he was killed. Now this is a journalist saying this. He said OMF could have killed Benford as a reprisal, or 4PF could have done it to silence the snitch. In either case, it is one more escalation of the conflict. So this is some other guy who died. He's just a 4PF member, supposedly. That defense attorneys say began with botched murder trial of the brother of the rapper Rollo a few years ago, which has led to a series of retaliatory killings. Atlanta rap megastar Lil Baby repped 4PF lyrically. His music label was until recently called 4PF. He shuttered the label in 2023 and said he did so because he didn't want to be held responsible for criminal acts by the committed by 4PF gang members. Nonetheless, Major Ralph Wolk, the head of the city anti-gang unit, called out the rapper Lil Baby last month for staging a music video in the territory claimed by OMF. So it looked like there's an OMF gang and 4PF, and they're beefing. Shortly after that event, rival gang members went into 4PF's territory in Oakland City to record a video, which led to a shootout that killed two 13-year-old boys and injured an 11-year-old. It's kind of this tit-for-tat violence that has led Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Williams to launch a racketeering case against Young Thug and YSL in 2022. The U.S. Justice Department indicted some of the members of the Goodfellas gang on racketeering charges 2 weeks ago. Federal prosecutors noted in the motion to seal parts of the case files because they expect gang members to try to kill people offering testimony. The most common question I get about YSL case is how much it costs to prosecute, which, by the way, very important thing. How much is it going to cost if Fonnie Willis tries to prosecute again on RICO charges a gang associated with a rapper? It says it's a reasonable question given the intrinsic complexity of the racketeering charges as amply demonstrated in the Young Thug trial. One can ask if there are more cost-effective options available to district attorneys. Worth noting that Willis asked Fulton County for a substantial increase in county spending on the district attorney's office. The district attorney's office has had the benefit of federal pandemic funding to clear its backlog of cases. That funding stream has ended, but Willis wanted the county to continue budgeting at that level. When the county refused, Willis threatened to sue the commission. So basically, Fonnie Willis is threatened to sue to get more money to be able to prosecute cases. And she's went after high-profile RICO cases against gangs and certain rap groups, some would say, in Atlanta. If the proposed budget is enacted, Fulton County will definitely see certainly see a dramatic increase in its jail population. It's likely to lose much of the progress that she has been making in reducing violent crime, Willis wrote. Okay. Hear me clearly. If you enact the proposed budget, people will die. The amount of people in jail or to do these cases die. So Willis was referring to a return to a case backlog that might expect to increase the jail population. Okay. But the increased staffing enabled by the federal money also permitted Willis to effectively devote one courtroom and one of Fulton County's 20 superior judges to a single case. Okay. Anyway. All right. Here we go. Sean Hoover, who manages Georgia's public defender council specialized unit on gang cases, says his office is actively preparing for a racketeering indictment on 4PF and OMF cases, and he expects Lil Baby to be indicted with others. He said, I will run that interview in a couple of days. Let me go to, because I don't know what the fuck is going on with that, so let me try to do some Googles. 4PF versus OMF. Like, somebody got to have a video about it. Okay, this is like a good video. Inside Atlanta's deadliest war. Okay. Chat, I want to grab some food while I'm watching this. 4PF secret beef. Okay, one of these videos just look good.
Imagine you're a multi-plot, multi types of activity.
Okay.
The air was thick with humidity that night. The city of Atlanta, alive.
Which one y'all want me to watch? It look like the same thing. I never heard of OMF. Is there a rapper in OMF? Chat, is there a rapper? Who's like the rapper for OMF? Never heard of no OMF. Chat, is there a rapper that's in OMF? That's what? Okay. Okay, let me just play this.
Oversized money roll to make sure it's the same amount that you left off on. And the first thing that you see when you turn on the TV is a police chief damn near naming you in crash out activity that resulted in the death of two 13-year-old boys.
Overall theme in this case is grown men playing gangster. Subsequent days, we saw homicides and shootings, and ultimately the deaths of two children as a result of his cowardly actions, and you know who you are.
Not only did he say it was your fault, but he said that you were a coward for the whole situation. And finally, after his long-winded press conference being held in your area of Oakland City, he concludes that whoever the mystery rapper who is directly linked to this saddening loss of life will receive the full force of the law.
And I tell you that this team will work relentlessly to hold you and the persons that you are affiliated with responsible for those actions.
It's no secret that the Atlanta Police Department and city government are completely sick and tired of rappers and the violence they instigate. But this press conference marked a new level of escalation with a verbal warning that the police are actively working to take you down. It's definitely not looking good for Dominic Jones, aka Atlanta superstar rapper Lil Baby, because at this moment it's looking like the mystery rapper is most likely him. A violent beef that enveloped the west end of Atlanta.
Police are searching for the person who shot and killed two teenagers and wounded a third. In northwest Atlanta tonight, police say the gunfire erupted during the shooting of a music video
that claimed the lives of 4 people and injured many more might just take the rapper off the streets for good. Maybe this is why Lil Baby decided to publicly stop repping the 4PF name, because they were getting tied into a high-profile beef with a subset of Goodfellas who go by OMF or Glizzy Gang. This secret war has resulted in online self-snitching taunts, rising rappers getting gunned down, kingpins calling hits from prison like a Netflix series, and many innocent people caught in the crossfire of a situation that they weren't even a part of. So today, we got to talk about the wild beef that got the city of Atlanta blaming Lil Baby for the rising murder rate in the west side. But before we do, gang, I'm gonna need you to like, comment, subscribe. We're on the road to 100K subs. Make sure you hit that notification bell and hit that link in the description and go cop the merch and support the channel, man. So let's get into this right now with chapter 1, War in the West Side. Ever since the highly publicized indictments of YSL, it seems like many rappers are trying to do things the right way and avoid the street activity to avoid getting caught in another RICO. Unfortunately for 4PF, it seems that it might be too little too late. You know, even though Lil Baby recently dropped the name of 4PF and is now going by CBFW, police aren't just like, oh yeah, he changed the name, he must be innocent. Nah, bro, they coming for bro. And it seems like they're taking anyone and everyone they need off the streets in order to accomplish their goal. While you might see two rival gangs within an impoverished section of the city at odds, the crazy thing, it wasn't always like that. At one point, both of these groups were cool, or just cordial, or just didn't really mess with each other, but many misunderstandings and retaliation murders later, it seems like these groups are hell-bent on destroying each other or destroying their communities. However, to understand how things got to this point, we gotta go back to the jump to fully understand how two groups could come to odds like this. So let's get into it with chapter 1. If you're familiar with Lil Baby's music, you've definitely seen him and others around him refer to themselves as 4PF in the past. Through label names or through IG pictures where members saw it before, they've gained notoriety in the city. 4PF, aka 4 Pockets Full, or Bank First Play Later as the OGs know it, is a Rolling 60s affiliated gang based out of the Oakland City area of Atlanta's West End. Ever since their name started getting some traction, this group was always just known as hustlers and money getters by any means. While they weren't soft or anything, they sort of personified their top member Lil Baby and being laid back hustlers that were more concerned about getting money than beefing. You see, a young Dominic Jones coming out of the slums of Atlanta had little options to come up, so he became an avid hustler in dice games and other types of activities a street entrepreneur would tap into, you know, when they need to get money. And like I said, for the longest time, they were really more concerned about getting money, while many groups in Atlanta were fighting over all types of different reasons in the late 2010s. Lil Baby eventually met up with Gunna, who taught him how to rap, and he started using his hustle as a means to push the music. However, as Lil Baby began to rise on the charts, it seemed like other areas within the West End were taking notice and not really feeling the vibes. On the other side of this beef, we got a gang subset called Glizzy Gang, aka OMF, a younger group of Goodfella associated members who were really more into being on some crazy crash out shit. Based out of the close by area of Northwest Atlanta, they sort of switch up their alliance with 4PF over a specific incident that has resulted in multiple people on both sides getting murdered. You see, most Goodfella associated gangs don't really have an issue with 4PF like that. And like I said, at one point, 4PF and Glizzy Gang were not really beefing like that. But a shooting in 2021 would change all that and put all their operations in jeopardy. A shooting which we'll get into right now in Chapter 2, Paper Trail of Murders. When it comes to escalated gang wars, there's often not a discernible public reason as to why they have an issue, but sometimes you can figure out why by following the blood. It seems that the violence started on the night of August 15th, 2022, when alleged Glizzy Gang associate Marcus Holland was found shot to death at the age of 19. From that point on, it was all smoke. It seems like the next shocking incident will be seen as retaliation than an ambush-style shooting after a show right outside of Atlanta. Lil Mid was an upcoming rapper from the 4PF side of Oakland City who was just an 18-year-old kid trying to navigate the streets in the music industry after graduating high school. While being associated with 4PF came with a perks of fame and opportunity, it also came with people who were looking to end you just out of association. It seems like on the night of April 27, 2022, the 4PF caught up to Lil Mid in the worst way possible. On that night, 4PF affiliate Cold Hearted Savage was booked to do a show at the LaGrange area club called Club True. He brought Lil Mid, whose real name was Nasir Beverly Calvin, on to perform with them and soak in the music industry. As the show wound down, Lil Mid and his people left the club in several vehicles to make their way back to Atlanta, according to investigators. As the group was traveling on Lafayette Parkway, someone in an unknown vehicle fired into Beverly Calvin's vehicle, authorities said. The teen was then shot in the head, police said, and 4 other people were left in the vehicle pick up the pieces. They survived and then decided to drive a full speed hour to Grady Hospital, almost an hour away, and drop off his body at the ER. Unfortunately, though, he would die from his injuries and his family was left to pick up the pieces. Baby obviously did not take this situation lightly because he would go on and post Lil Mid in remembrance for being so young and trying to get this money just like how he remembered he was. Fast forward 2 years later, and a music video gone wrong will result in over 10 people either getting shot, losing their freedom, or dying, which we're going to get into now in Chapter 3, music video shooting. 2 years after the death of Lil Mid, even after attempting to rebrand the 4PF name, Lil Baby was still not over the death of his younger member. So he then took it upon himself to film a music video. I'm talking a full production in a whole area known to be the headquarters of OMF. If you've been following Lil Baby, you most definitely saw the crazy incident that went on May 14th, 2024. This man, Lil Baby, took it upon himself to endanger his own life, his gang lives, and his production team's lives just to prove a point that only him and his ops would even know. Bro decided to shoot a music video at a corner store in the Dixie Court area with a fleet of black trucks and Teslas out in broad daylight. Bro, the video was crazy. It wasn't no run and gun. Bro was trying to issue a statement, hiring a whole production team to pull up to the trenches with him. Things were going good at the jump, but many rival members were getting alerted by commotion by unsuspected civilians posting Lil Baby as he was around set. This would obviously not be taken lightly because a mere 15 minutes after they started shooting, all panic would ensue with a surprise shooting that would go down, almost striking Lil Baby.
Yeah, that's right. This music video is being shot right down this street. Now, there were a lot of cars and people, many part of the production team, others just watching when those shots were fired. Police are calling this an isolated and targeted incident.
At approximately 4:50 p.m., police would be called near a commercial strip in the area of Bernabina Street in Northwest Atlanta. A 24-year-old man was shot in the arm and a 27-year-old man was shot in the back. They were both rushed to a nearby hospital for treatment, and thankfully they were okay. But those who would be the next victims in this ongoing saga just hours later would not be lucky. So we're going to get into that in Chapter 4, The Aftermath, where it all goes downhill. Directly following this shooting, police said in their press conference that 4PF were retaliating on their ops, and they believed that Lil Baby was the driving force behind all that. You see, he has the money, connections, and power, and they said that he's the top head member. They believe that he's a full crash out, and just by the fact that people had personally tried to end him in broad daylight, he was not taking that lightly. That's where police said that the next victim in the saga would be an OMF member who was taken out in retaliation.
Breaking news happening this morning. Police in Southwest Atlanta are investigating an overnight homicide. It happened on Peyton Place Southwest, which is not too far from the Hamilton MARTA station. Police tell Fox 5 crews they found a man in his 20s shot and killed inside an apartment there.
On June 29th, 2024, Trevante Turner, an alleged member of OMF, would be posted up in an apartment at 9 9 Peyton Place Southwest. Apparently at 3 a.m., officers were alerted to panicking neighbors calling about gunshots in an apartment. When police arrived, they found Trevante Turner dead and still in the apartment with little to no leads. While the police were combing through evidence to connect the dots, it seemed like the top member of GF, Quantaya Midnight Sanders, who was the blood cousin of Trevante Turner, already knew who was responsible. According to police, Midnight, as he was named, used a contraband cell phone to call a hit on anyone from 4PF, with Lil Baby being a top target, along with his right-hand man, Jay Shot. Bro really thought that he could call hits on people from outside, bro, and thought that he would get away with it. I really feel like they had to take this activity off the streets for everyone's safety because it was getting kind of crazy. Midnight sent a team of shooters into the Oakland City area to take out whoever they could. Unfortunately, the people killed were not 4PF members, but were just 13-year-old kids celebrating their birthday at midnight.
The police are searching for the person who shot and killed 2 teenagers and wounded a third. It happened just after midnight on Spark Street in southwest Atlanta.
Investigators say 13-year-olds Jacody Davis and Lamont Freeman were killed at a shooting off Spark Street early Tuesday morning.
On July 22nd, 2024, at around 12:40 a.m., police responded to a call from an apartment complex on Spark Street Southwest, near Peoples Street Southwest in the Oakland City neighborhood. Spark Street was an area that was known to be frequented by Jay Shot, and the specific area that police will later find out was targeted by GF top member Midnight. Upon arrival, officers found one 13-year-old boy dead at the scene. The 13-year-old and 11-year-old were rushed to the hospital, where the second 13-year-old succumbed to his injuries. The 11-year-old was stable and ended up surviving after being shot in the foot. At the time of the shooting, it was seen as a tragic case of senseless violence with no motive. But fast forward to this year, and the police have issued a timeline of events that directly ties the shooting to not only Lil Baby, but all the gang violence on the west end of Atlanta. It seems that the homicide division within the West took this string of violence serious and was able to use the help of informants and other evidence to implicate a whole range of people. In August 21st, police recovered the stolen white Nissan Maxima used in the shooting of the Davis brothers at a parking deck on Drew Drive Northwest. Further forensic analysis linked shell casings found at the scene to previous gang-related shootings across the city, bro. They were using the same gun and left it in the whip and left all the evidence there. Investigators also intercepted phone conversations between gang members discussing the incident and the efforts to cover their involvement with the boy's death. Richard R.J. Hollis, a known OMF associate, was overheard instructing associates to destroy evidence, including a pair of shoes and social media accounts. Additionally, a confidential informant provided information from a third party implicating Decathlon Jamin Mobley in the shooting. The informant told police they had learned through a relative that Jamin really wanted Lil Baby, but it was hard to touch him. It said he was hoping to catch another individual associated with 4PF. The informant claimed that Mobley was unaware that the victims were children at the shooting because they were just sitting up on a porch in the area. The investigation also revealed that Sanders repeatedly told his girlfriend about seeking revenge against Lil Baby and his plan to extort him for $5 million upon his release from prison. Well, fast forward to 2025 and it seems like they're all going down. Man, it seems like this is another situation like the Lil Durk situation where these dudes straight up have millions of dollars at their disposal and still find it difficult to not do the street stuff. You know, it's not even like drug dealing and stuff like that. Like they're talking about people going out and shooting people on your behalf, calling hits. And it seems like people are just going to get taken down because the cops already know all this information. And I'm sure they know a lot more. In the press conference, they weren't even issuing that it was 4PF, the game, because they wanted to catch them by surprise. But honestly, if they had been paying attention and they saw this, they would have definitely knew that they were talking about them. Let's hope that Lil Baby learned from Lil Durk's mistakes and maybe boarded a jet and going to Europe or something right now because it's definitely not looking good.
This video was a month ago. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me see. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay. Yes, give me 1 second. I'm trying to see something. I'm trying to see something. You know what So remember that interview that Charlemagne did with Baby that got taken down? Remember the answer. And I remember the answer. I can't find it. I almost want to feel like the answer was a little bit, I don't know.
Lil Baby on changing his label's name from 4PF to Glass Window to Duck the Feds.
You went from 4PF to Glass Ceiling.
Glass Window.
Right.
And of course, 4 Pockets 4 had to come to an end.
Why you say of course?
Because all that be going on. And I had to start learning that other people's actions I could be held accountable for.
Right.
I ain't know all that at first. You know what I'm saying? I never would have went that route, but I ain't know. Now that I know, I'll be a fool to just keep the same thing going. They trying to make something out of something that it ain't, because the way they trying to set it up as a system, they gonna try to use it as a game. And it's really the like target. And it's some people who do act as gangs, but that ain't everybody.
Right.
I'm really on the phone with my lawyers looking out the window, and I named it Glass Window. It got nothing to do with nobody. It don't got nothing to do with nobody. No nothing.
Lil Baby on changing his label's name.
What was your
Lil Baby on changing his label's name from 4PF to Glass Window to Duck the Feds.
You went
Big U is very good at helping people reach their dreams.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So take that from that. And I ain't never stole nothing from nobody, period. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
I took it all.
You know, before we start, I need that like button, please. And if you're not entertained by the end of the video, unlike the motherfucker. Big U created a nonprofit organization called Developing Options. But what he didn't tell you is he was developing options on how you want to be extorted, legally or illegally. Have it your way, like Burger King.
May I help you, sir?
Corrupt said, yeah, let me get a number one legally without getting my ass beat weekly. Because SKG recently exposed Big U has been extorting him this whole time. She said one night Corrupt made the girls all pause when Big U beat him so bad he started calling out names. But Corrupt is not the only one he's legally extorting. When I say legally, even though it's illegal, I'm talking about donations through Developing Options. Because in the RICO indictment, it exposes Big U take the donations and transfer them directly to his personal account. See, he used Developing Options as a front cover. And if you're a celebrity and come across his path, you better believe he's gonna have a charity set up just for you. And if you don't donate, you're gonna see the inspiration for the character Debo come out.
People who know me know I'm hard on people who so-called made it and not giving back. If you can go to the club and spend $80,000 on bottles, and you can spend $10,000 to go in the club, but you haven't done nothing to help the neighborhood. You know, this young man just gave out 500 pair of tennis shoes.
Hold up, let's do the math. 500 pairs of tennis shoes. Let's say it's $100 a pair. That's a $50,000 donation.
And he about to give out another 500 pair of tennis shoes.
Man, the look on Chris Brown's face, you can tell Big U just came up with that, and this is the first time he hearing it. Chris said, "Is Big U on the flow? If he is, let him know," so he could run it. And he's been a Pyru ever since. And Big U does not discriminate. If you are rolling 60s, you automatically gonna get targeted. But if you're in LA at a celebrity event, don't look him in his eyes. See right here, Ludacris is trying his best. Luda, when he look away, roll out, because you seen what happened to Tip. He's been extorting him so long, he probably thought whatever you like was written for him.
Shit, I can't. So you just refusing to pay your bill?
No, I'm gonna pay you. I'm just not gonna allow you to videotape me as I pay you. I would not sign a release for any of the footage you're trying to figure.
And you know he caught Wiz Khalifa too. I bet you he wishes he never see Big U again.
Stop. 15 more.
That's 100.
Hey, one thing LA love is making the out-of-town celebrity do push-ups. This the funniest shit to them. See, Nipsey already caught on to Big U. Every time he ran into Big U, he turned around and kept it rolling. Neighborhood stupid. See, Big U is persistent. Love making celebrities feel bad if they don't donate, and he won't stop until they give in.
Cause you know he always be. Cause you know he always be. Cause you know he always be. I'ma support you, baby. I'ma support you. I'ma support
you. And Big U is.
But he's a father figure. He's a man of the community. He has donated for the last 5 years. He has donated every year to the organization. He I think he gave us $25,000 last year for the football organization. In the terms of we bought football jerseys, uniforms. He paid for our field. He's performed 2 times for us a year for the football program. He by far he's done far more for the Crenshaw community than any person up to date.
Man, TS BS. Discrediting everything Nipsey done for the community just because Wiz donated to your pockets more? I bet that's how he got to Nip. And once he do, oh man, this is when he become most creative. He'll come up with a charity event for any reason. Hey, and remember, he was bragging about giving Nip his only award.
And all of them. And I'm the only one to give him an award.
Man, by the way Big U made it sound, I thought they was honoring Nipsey like he was the man of the show.
And who gave him his only award? Living. How we beefing?
That's right.
Party, I was doing a award show. Nip, I'm finna honor you. I'm the one who gave him that.
Big Draws forgot to mention he gave an award to anybody that donated. And Wiz got a higher award than Nipsey. And I think he used the name generator. Look at what Corrupt got, a Keep It Hood award. What's even crazier is he saved the best awards for himself. And he got 3 of them. Big U got the Uncle of the Century award, along with the Coach of the Century Heisman. And he also got the Most Valuable Uncle Award. Oh, nah, Big U different. How you sweep at your own award show? And Big U think everybody's slow but him. He'll take the donations and do the bare minimum. Rent out a hall, decorate the tables, provide some food, have one of the homies perform for free, give out Keep It Hood awards, and collect the bag. Then he act like he spent a lot of his own money so he can keep asking for more. And when Nipsey finally came back, he kept trying to run that play.
This is for the bag. This is swap. This is for the bag. You come looking for this bag, you gotta come through with this man.
But look at the caption though. Crenshaw Rams taking all fades. We got the bag from Nipsey Hussle and we ready to trip cause BS got that new drip. And he said it was a $150 fee per person. That's a high ass fee. But hold on though, Nip. We gotta eat too.
Whole lot of money, whole lot of time, whole lot of fun. And it's all I can get.
TSBS.
When I'm in paintballing. Went all over the country. I ain't eating none of that. Crenshaw Rams, baby. We're gonna drip all summer long.
Not we, me.
We're planning on our next bank.
Damn, already?
I think we're gonna do the 70s gangsters twist. I'm coming as Bumpy Johnson.
The uncle said he wanted to throw a developing options charity banquet with a 70s gangster twist where he's coming as Bumpy Johnson. Man, the same one that flourished because he was a master at robbery, extortion, and pimping? Nah, LA, this is your ARAB for sure.
We had all the kids in the 70s outfit.
For what?
Maybe.
Look at the caption though. In my free time with these babies and younger people, I love to put a smile on their face. Shoot, I'm gonna need a loan now. This Crenshaw fund is killing my pockets. I have to say thank you, Nipsey Hussle, for making these last 2 weekends happen for the team. Your money is working for the kids. We have 1 more weekend. When can you come? So Nipsey paid for 3 weekends. And he's already announcing the next banquet. Man, no matter how much Nip give, it's just never enough. I think Nip finally told Big U this developing options donation marathon is over. The course is done. Because the next month, Big U's attitude changed completely.
Because you made it don't mean you made it. You know what I mean? Keep it 100. I'm going to give you this message. real talk. I watched it lose $1 billion. I like my brother Suge Knight. I watched them travel the country. I like all the artists that have been rich and travel the country. I watched motherfuckers come and go in this business. I watched get bags, hit houses, get $1 million and be broke. I watched motherfuckers make 15, 16 million and be broke. What you need to do is be careful who you stepping on your way up. In a what they say, early rise, early to get tired. Why niggas do working and working a steady grind is grinding and fully getting it. Self-preservation don't happen in one minute or one decision. It's hard work. It come fast. It gonna go.
See, you can tell Big U get jealous easily, and dropping this pic ain't help either. It looked like it's nothing but millionaires and billionaires. I mean, I could tell Big U was hating, because only 3 months after this, he was tripping on Nipsey bringing Khaled to the hood, even after all those donations.
You know, not to get into too much detail, but there was a lot of bit politics getting into with certain people. You know, Hustle had DJ Khaled in the hood. Not to be speaking too much on shit, but we came frontline like we always do. And, you know, niggas gonna know we gonna crash out behind it. We not playing. Ain't nobody saying nothing to Khaled. Ain't nobody doing nothing to Khaled. And he's straight. And Hustle frontline that. And, you know, we felt like certain people didn't like that.
Sam, we know it's anybody killer. You don't gotta hide it no more. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Crenshaw, something really wrong with Big U. This man's not right in the head. But hey, hell of an actor though. He tell all his lies with a straight face. Check out this line of Big U begging for donations after Nipsey died. And in the name of Nipsey. And he's telling people don't buy from the Marathon store because it's not helping the kids.
I just put up a post a couple of days ago. Talking about how we trying to get all these young brothers and sisters prom dresses and prom dresses, shirts, and all suits and all that. Ain't none of these celebrities came in support. Ain't none of these fake ass bourgeoisie that was just hollering Nip name, offered to do nothing. You know, we got a couple of people that's coming to the tap. Their hair is done, their makeup done, and all that. This is what I did on my own. No, let me take that back. Elliot Grains helped us. And Wiz, Elliot Grains, and P from Wack helped too. Shouts out to Wack 100. He helped too. A couple people helped with the giveaway for the suits. You know what I mean?
How much money do
But right now, we're trying to do the same thing for the kids at the high school. Send them off the prom. But ain't none of these celebrities coming out to help.
4 or 5.
You know what I mean? We got all these people that came up, you know. They really was just cloud chasing on my little kid name. You know, you want to wear Crenshaw across your chest, but that's not going to the kids. That's ownership. That's going to their business, to the Marathon store. That money don't go to the kids of Crenshaw. You want to help the kids of Crenshaw, you got to do something that's directly help the kids of Crenshaw. Help this community, you got to do that.
It's helping you. Man, y'all let Big U be an activist extortionist. And he old as hell. He be moving like it's still the 80s. I mean, you can play with the man if you want to, but if you say no to his checking in, it could get spooky. R.I.P. P&B Rock, but he thought he didn't have to check in. He thought his own protection was good enough.
2 different times before Roddy Ricch was even like super heavy. It was like, damn, bro, you just came out here like it was me and him. Me and him went to the projects. He like, bro, like you ain't got no security and none of that. And it's like, bro, I got security, but I don't got security. You feel me? Like, I be on my too, you feel me?
And so, what was shocking was that Luce exposed that Luce and Big U was there for P&B Rock's murder robbery.
It was like super messed up because at the end of the day, it was me and Big Useless in there when it happened. So when it happened, I wish I could have just told him like, bro, just give up the jury and we get it back to you later. But it just happened so fast and he wasn't cooperating. And that's when they took it off of him by force. You get what I'm saying? Give it up and then check in with the real people. So we're going to find the jury and we're going to get it because we know all the pawn shops, we know all the people that's going to melt it down and everything like that. So as soon as it comes on their table, we got it. Okay, get it, go in that back room, make that phone call, put them on the phone.
And he caught T.I.'s son there one day. Man, Big U said he's here so often, it's like the activist extortionist office. He said, get your ass out of here before our Cardinals don't get paid.
Well, Tip son, he got Tip son. Roscoe's. I'm walking Roscoe's on some different business because some other shit didn't happen. And I come in there to take care of some other business with some it ain't no nice business. Right. I walk in Roscoe's, he in there with T.I.'s son. Wow. And T.I. little son on the I'm like, what the fuck is y'all doing here? I called Tip, I said, what Nephew and them doing here? Right. They don't have no clue where they at. Where they at, yeah. They just there. Right. They thinking it's Roscoe's. You at the wrong Roscoe's. There's 3 more Roscoe's. Go to the ones, either one by my neighborhood or the one in Hollywood. They at the wrong, but they at the wrong Roscoe's. Which one is the wrong? All of them. No, they on the east side. Oh, okay. You gotta call Magic. Right. But what I'm saying is, this is our baby. So if he get into it with something, he ain't got to call me. It's going to be my problem regardless. Right. But he in the wrong place at the wrong time. And now all the dudes out there looking like, I had to tell Nephew. I said, man, I called his daddy. I said, man, we just run around here all like this.
Well, Big U reacted to PNB Rock's death on the Nothing to Something podcast, and his reaction was so cold, it made it to the Big U RICO indictment.
The United States of America and all these countries have what is called airspace. If you invade their airspace with a plane, they consider that an act of war. If you want to come in their airspace, you're going to check in. You can choose not to, and it's going to be a problem. If dudes come and you move it in a certain way, if you choose not to check in, something comes.
It was another example of not checking in, and Big U had an evil look when he responded to it. It looked like he was listening to a Whack 100 clubhouse room.
Then they called him like Quando Rondo. I just showed Envy. Like, you can't call me now. You can't call me when the fire hot. You didn't with me before that. You know what I mean? You had my number. You could have called me. You could have did all that. You know what I mean? But he was around about. But how is that fair to me? How is that fair to our team, though? You know.
Speaking of Quando Rondo, allegedly Brick Baby might have had some involvement in all that. I don't know. And it might have involved Big U with the back door. I don't know. That's the word on the YouTube streets. But around this time, boy, Brick was getting money. How could we tell? Because he was showing it.
They say got the cleanest fucking money you brought. They don't tell it what you up. Nigga ass. You do it with your hands when you touch this. It's the brick, man.
And if you in the 60s and you give him money, Big U could smell it like blood to a vampire. He popped up immediately. And this takes me to the illegal part of his extortion, where he get a cut of all the illegal street activities. Because on the Big U RICO indictment, on the wiretap, said Brick hit a lick that ended up being a plug. But Big U demanded a percentage of that. When they counted the money, it was only $2,000 or $3,000. They said it should have been more than that. But I think this is Big U's entry on the extortion of Brick Baby, because since then he was getting harassed by 6 O's.
Six straight.
All right, freedom stories out here, cuz. So if you don't come to the hood, bring my homeboy 15,000. We coming to no jumper. We ain't trying to do no interview.
And it was from the group he was rocking with, because the man can't even post a $50 giveaway.
Yeah, man, it's the big break, not the little one, man. And I'm giving my fans, it's a fan giveaway. If y'all find my hit-ups around the city, y'all got to take a picture of them, hit me. I'm going to cash app you $50. You know what I'm saying? Every fan that can find the hit-up. And it's 2 per location. But only 1 person can win per hit-up. So if y'all know where I'm at an Arco, somewhere in the valley. I gave y'all the turnaround. I can't give y'all everything, but one of my fans see it, take a picture in front of it, tag me. It's Brick, man. You already know. Don't see
without breathing on him. Big U even popped in the comments and said, how about just give me a loan, interest free? As a matter of fact, it's a PPP. We don't need to pay it back loan. And another 6-0 member responded, stop passing out money when you in debt with the gang. And who just happens to be in the same IG post as him? The activist extortionist, Big U. Nah, this man's diabolical. See, this is when Brick Baby realizes TSBS. He went on the IG rant speaking on the 60s.
Damn, any nigga can help get some money for, and you talk about it going on rants on the internet on the hood. I don't involve the hood in my rants. And on 6, so I'm really like that. Test it out because you say talking, been in the car with me by myself on the dead homies. You say you talking, been on plays with me by myself. I didn't pull it up on y'all by myself. You ain't shit without your homeboys for real. Keep congregating on the rich. If you want to, you never get here. On the dead homies, nigga, I didn't get rich from hating on niggas. I got rich from separating myself from niggas. On the hood, I got rich from separating from you ass punk. On the hood, I fuck with real deal situations. Nigga, I fuck with real killers, nigga, real drug dealers. And nigga, on the dead homie, I'm rapping now. Nigga. On the hood, I got rich because I separated. On the dead homie, $50, my boy, bro. Bad, cuz he did Nipsey bad, even though it was my little homie, nigga. Still not fucking with y'all tight. Same. Got my telephone number. Same. Know what's happening. On the dead homies, cuz get your money, stay out the way, cuz I seen real slime balls turn into rich when they stop worrying about what the next nigga doing, cuz on 6-0. Is it stuck in a fucked up state of mind? The hood got a curse over it. Nigga, I won't catch no rolling 60 indictment because I'm not fucking this, cuz on 6-0. On the dead homies, it's a curse over my hood. It ain't been a pack of niggas get money out the 60s and niggas just do the right thing ever. On the hood, it ain't got enough power to be Big Meech in them. It's a curse over this mother. On 6-0, it's a curse over the hood, cuz. And if y'all not gonna break it, stay the away from me. I'm willing to help anybody around this. I'm willing to do whatever for whoever, nigga. You know what's crazy? I still ain't even rich. I'm rich to y'all. That bust down chain I went to go buy on 6-0 crib. Nah. The P&B rock died, man. I got plenty of jewelry. Right at my jewelry. Dead homies, I ride all gold, plain Jane. Just because kings wear something around their neck just to show that they still kinging around. On 6-0, I go to the jeweler and pull out all type of shit on you, cuz. But for what? Cuz on 6-0, I had a watch that cost $38,000 when I went to jail. That was worth $100. I had another watch that was worth $5,000 to $8,000 or something. That worth $18,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even really wear a chains. Dead homies, I don't even have a logo for Brick City. I'm really like a grinder, cuz on 6-0. Make it make sense though. Make it make sense, cuz. Everybody make it make sense. Before I start tapping asses around, nigga, no homo. Hence, the 6x10 chain, you no longer see me wearing that. Because I had to separate in order to become my own figure. I still got it. But what I look like with a 6x10 on my neck everywhere that I go, cuz, and I'm representing Black empowerment, cuz, on the dead homies, but I'm putting the name tag on my chest to shoot at without even asking questions, cuz, on the dead homies, ain't no busterism. Y'all know who I be with. Y'all know who I am, man. Y'all know my family, cuz, from granddaddy on down, man. Y'all know that really rock like that, cuz, on the dead homies, cuz, uncles and all that, cuz, on the hood. Separation is the key, cuz. Separate yourself from that cancer, cuz, on 6-0, because you're not gonna make it nowhere where you have people holding you down, cuz, on the dead. Yeah, just hate the fact that I grew up. I'm a grown ass man on 6-0, turning into a general, cuz, and on hood, I'm not putting that same energy that y'all gave us when we was kids into these young heads, bro. It's all positivity, cuz, on 6-0. You know what I'm saying? You know it's either be 8, point blank, period. We ain't got to go into preaching all that, cuz, on the dead homie. Teach these little how to get some money and take care of their kids and stop going back to jail like the old that came and embraced me did. I fucked my old
I still tap in, nigga. I ain't gonna bring their names into the internet. Nigga, I tap in with my nigga. I still ask them, is it okay if I do this, if I do that, only because we representing one thing up under one umbrella.
There it
Lil
is,
Zion.
man. How do you guys feel about it? I think Brick told no lies. The 60s looks cursed. How does every big name on the internet all hate each other equally? Or is it the big U curse? Because this man is diabolical. You guys know it. The people who he go after most is on the 60s. But it looked like he might be going away for a minute. So we might find out. But before we do, though, I still got Big U taking the Big U RICO tour to St. Louis, ATL, New Jersey, and more. Let me get 660 likes, and I'm gonna drop it ASAP.
You know what I mean? Keep it 100. What you need to do is be careful who you stepping on your way up.
This nigga Big U. I told Tasha K everything this man did to me. Jumped on me while I was pregnant. Beat me. Locked me in a...
Now that it's pretty apparent that quite a few of what we thought to be gossip or attempts to get attention on the internet in terms of talking about death of Nipsey Hussle, of robbing this one and that one, all these Big U related sort of activities, stories told by WAG 100, Cowboy Loose Cannon, everybody. Now that we know, well, probably a lot of it is true. These guys really were on the internet telling true stories with not that much attempt to be covert or disguise anything.
The nigga name was Dahmer. That's the nigga name. Dahmer came over there to get out with Nip. Cuz you was my nigga, I go to jail. Come to find out you telling my baby mama, don't answer my phone calls, don't send me nothing. It's you and her, all this shit. You start fucking a bitch 6-0, we gotta get out. Dahmer jump out. Nipsey didn't want to fade, Ghost. He didn't want to get out with Dahmer. Boy, Eddie Boy was telling nigga, I get out with him. They lock up. Boom, 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 boom. Eddie Boy whooped Dahmer ass. Knock his tooth out, all that. Dahmer come back smoking.
Starting to take a look back at really what the circumstances of Nipsey Hussle's homicide were. And the woman that was driving Eric Holder around, she was an Uber driver. They had met not too long before and were sort of dating or whatever. The woman, of course, whose statement to the police was used in court and this videotape.
Like trying to like get to me, like to take the picture or whatever, like trying to wait till he stopped talking.
Do you know why he wouldn't want to talk to him?
Because I guess the way he was just like, cuz, have you ever snitched on somebody, cuz this, cuz that.
That's what Nipsey was saying?
That's what Eric was saying. Nipsey wasn't like saying nothing. He was just like, nah, nah, like that, know.
Did it sound like Eric was accusing him of snitching?
To me, it sounded like kind of like he was trying to be a little messy.
So that's her talking about not that Nipsey accused Eric Holder of being a snitch, but that Eric Holder was asking Nipsey if he had given some information on something. And WAC 100 has a story about a guy named Dahmer who felt that Nipsey hated on him with his baby mama, girlfriend, whatever, while Dahmer was in jail. He gets out, jumps out on Nipsey, wants to fight him. Nipsey doesn't want to fight for whatever reason. And a guy named Eddie Boy, which I would admit is not the same Eddie Boy that 600 said Big U snitched on because he's still alive. But this other Eddie Boy, probably little Eddie Boy or whatever, fights the Dahmer guy and beats him up. Dahmer comes back, knocks Eddie Boy down, is incarcerated for it, or is being, and he ends up getting incarcerated for it. Can somebody tell us, did this really happen? Is there a guy Dahmer from the 60s? Is this true? That's serving time now for killing somebody named Eddie Boy.
Boy, Eddie Boy was telling nigga, I get down with him. They lock up. Boom, 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 boom. Eddie Boy whooped Dahmer ass. knock his tooth out, all that. Dahmer come back smoking, right? Killing behind it, right? Dahmer go to jail for the body. They questioning Nipsey, and Nipsey said, if somebody do something to me, or I come up dead, Dahmer did it, or they snatched Dahmer. Big U had that recording and used that to make the nigga move. That's when you seen all the victory lap shit. He fucking with him. Nigga, Nipsey was playing his hand. Somebody was gonna go one way or another.
And during the early stages of that investigation, Big U playing the tape recording game like WAG 100. Well, it's not really a game. I mean, they're getting tape recordings and using them for their purposes, which is what they teach you to do in Machiavelli and 48 Laws of Power, which everyone says they read. They tell you they learn techniques from this. That Nipsey made a statement saying, if anything happens to me, it was Dahmer. If I pop up dead, Dahmer did it. Under these very strict LA street gang politics in which the members seem to just watch each other's behavior, looking for an excuse to DP each other, run somebody off the set, or take somebody out, that's obviously a violation. And Big U was holding it over his head. Now let's go back to my part one of trying to unravel all this, and thanks to the viewers, because I asked what the interview of this was, and I'll go back to that in part 3. But
like, what's to this? And we went backstage. Nip like, man, hey, keep y'all head up, because some shit went on back home. He did, and that's so I can say it. It's the 60s or whatever, they had robbed the motherfucking cartel for like 300 keys of heroin.
I think Big U was using the tour bus, Nipsey's tour bus, to at least sometime or possibly do drug drop-offs, pick up money, and it was making Nipsey hot. He was seeing himself about to take off. He wanted no parts. The incident in Chicago where a bunch of Mexicans tried to get at Nipsey at a concert, and why would that be going on? Well, did it tie back to Big U commandeering and not paying for some heroin from some CARTEL people, who then had their Chicago people put the press on Nipsey and them when they were riding around the country on a tour bus, which that doesn't mean it's true. I have no evidence, but other than circumstantial, but it's plausible sounding. Certainly Nipsey was down with Big U for a while, right? And if Big U was putting the press game down, Nipsey would have been a part of it, at least for a while. So imagine you're Big U and whoever's down with him, and you put your stamp on Nipsey, so he's the face of the hood. He can do whatever he wants. You got Steve Lobel in the mix. Nipsey's career is elevating. Nipsey probably feels like it's him that's elevating his career, not to say it's not. And Big U may feel like, well, no, it's me.
What you need to do is be careful who you stepping on your way up.
Nipsey does not want to be, or he feels this is his chance to get away from the serious crime, the robbing people, because Loose Cannon, who now seems believable with all the stories, talks about Gilly and Gilly's son, who's now deceased, rest in peace, being stripped of their jewelry by Big U's squad, and then Nipsey pulled up and gave.
Do you know anything about that? Is there any truth to that? Yeah, him and his son got stripped down, butt naked. I mean, not butt naked, to their drawers. So when they got stripped down, basically it was an inside job. Nip pulled up and he gave him, like Gilly, like I think like 25,000. You get what I'm saying?
Something like this is in the indictment, where they rob you, and then later that day, well, you get robbed, and maybe you don't know who it's by. And then you call like, oh, we checked in with you and we got robbed. What happened? And then they pull up and give you some of your stuff back. Nipsey pulled up and gave Gilly $25,000 after he was robbed. Him and his son were robbed. Like, And if you're thinking like, well, what the hell is the point of robbing somebody and giving somebody back? It's a power play, right? Like, okay, you're in LA and you're bopping around and you think you're cool. Boom, you get robbed. And now you call me because we're kind of cool. And I'm like, oh, see, you should have let me know you were in town. These guys out here are wolves. Let me see what I can do. Let me call around.
Cause we yeah. The reason why I respect these niggas is because on some real shit is because that shit ain't a fad.
And then they be like, oh yeah, well they already sold it, but I made them give me 25,000. Here you go.
Nip pulled up and he gave him like Gilly, like I think like 25,000. You get what I'm saying?
Or give you your jewelry back or most of it, or I got the little guys who got it, but I got it all, but they want 10,000 for it. So now you've simultaneously, you did rob them for something, plus now you've cemented this relationship. Now I think, oh man, Big U is my friend. He got my stuff back, and I only had to give 10,000, but they took 50,000 worth of stuff. Well, you got me for 10,000 really, and now you got me in your web because now I think you're my protector. So this is a standard, like a prison press thing, you know. And if you know what it is, then it sounds stupid, or not stupid, but it sounds like it's something easy to see. But if you haven't been exposed to it, it's all con games are easy. It's like magic tricks. If you know what it is, it's easy to see it. But the whole point is, unless you're a con man, a robber, or extorter, you don't know the tricks. So you go for them. So anyways, we know that in the indictment, Big U did do these things. There would be robberies and then they give part of the stuff back. So this makes sense in the context of what we know is believable. And we know Nipsey would have had to been down with what Big U was doing to some degree until they broke up, because that's how I go. If you with somebody and he's doing crime, like, you know about it, that's what's going on. That's what you guys are doing. Remember, Nipsey wasn't making a bunch of money till closer to the end. And then there's a girl, SKG, who used to be signed at Death Row and who worked at a radio station. She's now all over the blogs getting interviewed.
This nigga Big U. I told Tasha K everything this man did to me. Jumped on me while I was pregnant. Beat me. Locked me in a...
She got into it with Big U. She was doing a charity. See, again, this makes sense. She was in charge of big charity events at one of the radio stations. And they had gotten Albertsons, I think she said, which is a grocery chain out here, to put up $250,000. And Developing Options was supposed to be a part of it. And then whatever went on between her and Big U, she said, I don't want to work with you anymore. Big U shows up at the corporate offices, comes into a meeting where she's with the corporate people, at her job. She is one of the corporate people. Curses her, talks crazy, embarrasses her right in the building. A few days after that, Nipsey is calling her like, oh, I need those posters or whatever. And she ends up going to the Marathon store. She walks in, click, clack. The door locks. It's Big U. Nipsey is lured her there. Big U slaps her up. Oh, bitch, you shouldn't have embarrassed me at that meeting. I think I, to some degree, was operating under the assumption that a lot of these stories people were telling was just to get internet attention, but apparently not. So now I tend to believe them, especially if it matches up with things in the indictment. Behaviors that the FBI caught him talking about on wiretaps, things that are corroborated by video surveillance footage. So Nipsey was helping Big U with this extortion stuff. And there was that Vector 80, which I knew somebody working there. And we were asking her like, oh, we want to come down there and, I want to come over there and what's up with that? And she was just disgust. She was like, "Oh, don't come," and she was just kind of. She had a look of disgust on her face, like I don't even want to talk about Vector 8, which was that kind of business development center there in the Rolling 60s neighborhood. They got money from some tech person. And again, now knowing what we know with Big U, where'd the money go? Well, and this is, just so you know, I used to, when I was in graduate school, work at a Center for Urban Studies at a big university. And one of the various things that went on there is they would review what various nonprofits in the city, well, not very, every single federally funded nonprofit in the city of Detroit. So trust me when I tell you, like, money being siphoned out of nonprofits or just the whole budget of the nonprofit is the director's salary and like a car or something. That's, I don't say common, but it's not uncommon. So, you know, Big U, just the whole nonprofit hustle is, he you know, they would have, developing options was far from the only people doing this in any community. This is not particular to the Black community, obviously. It all makes sense. So Nipsey, and remember, Nipsey never said, I disavow gang membership. So I'm an active member, Rolling 60s. Like,
boy, Eddie Boy was telling the nigga, I get down with him. They lock up. Boom, 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 boom. Eddie Boy whooped Dahmer ass. Knock his tooth out, all that. Dahmer come back smoking. Right? Killing behind it. Right? Dahmer go to jail for the body. They questioning Nipsey. And Nipsey said, if somebody do something to me or something, I come up dead, Dahmer did it. Or they snatched Dahmer. Big U had that recording and used that to make the nigga move. That's when you seen all the victory lap shit. He fucking with him. Nigga, Nipsey was playing his hand. Somebody was gonna go one way or another.
But did Big U have something held over him? This tape of him saying Dahmer is the one who, if something happens to me, it was Dahmer. And then, of course, there's this the other thing of Whack 100 claiming that he had this sexually embarrassing video of Nipsey doing something. And again, I thought, because Whack is always talking and then doesn't produce the goods, but Vlad let slip, and you can like Vlad or not like Vlad, but Vlad is professional. I don't think Vlad makes anything up because he doesn't have a reputation of making things up. Like, I don't make stuff up. And if you have a reputation for not making stuff up, at least, you never want to mess that up. Because once you're in that category of people who make stuff up, you lose, you know. So Vlad let slip, oh yeah, somebody sent me a picture too, but I'll never show it. Well, by even saying you got it, I mean, it ain't the same as showing it, but like, right? So people had blackmail over Nipsey. At the least, for sure, there was something weird sexual. And then there might have been this other tape. And there was a lot of money at stake. I'm showing the footage of the neighborhood there, the Rolling 60s neighborhood. It's a huge area. The Overhills area, all those are probably $1 million homes. And even a lot of the other parts of the neighborhood are valuable. They're along Crenshaw. Well, until you get to Slauson from like USC campus south through the 40s and 50s, is hugely built up. Massive businesses. You can see that light rail line going through the middle of Crenshaw. That's brand new. So that's made that area very accessible to the rest of the city. And then when you get to Slauson, it starts to get a little, I know not run down's too strong of a word, but you can tell that maybe everything ain't rented, let's say that. But then you go into the Overhills area, and those are all beautiful homes. Driving down Brynhurst, which is one of the cliques that was a rough looking street, all apartment buildings, run down apartment buildings that didn't look too nice. And I guess that's one of the rough parts of the neighborhood. But anyway, so all the pieces to the puzzle of there being this war or power dynamic between Nipsey and Big U, and Big U certainly doesn't seem like he has the personality to give up influence and power. And then, but of course, once the golden goose was gone, he's back to extorting people for $500. Now, who was this witness? Who was this victim that Big U was shaking down for all his money? Here he is. Okay, this is Dale Monster Morrison. And they figured out he's cooperating witness number one. He's the guy that was being shaken down. They hit him for $30,000. They threw a party at Deja Vu Strip Club. They were making him pay big money for his illegal dispensary. They were saying $25,000 a month. I think he paid that briefly when things were rocking in the pandemic. By the end, he was giving Big U $500 here and there, which was marked money, some of it from the FBI, because he had already gone to the FBI. And the way they figured it out, in the indictment, it said that this guy had been let out of prison early. So some of the YouTube sleuths figured out that this guy, Dale Monster Morrison, out of Victorville, had a human trafficking case and also some yayo, reefers, other stuff being sent to Ohio back maybe 2012, and got a lengthy sentence, and he got out a couple years early, and he gets into the illegal dispensary and the party promotion business. They had a fake party where they said T.I. and Wiz Khalifa were going to come. Of course, them guys wasn't coming to Deja Vu. That Deja Vu was right downtown, right by where I used to live, downtown L.A. Definitely a ganged out establishment. That was definitely a place it felt like you could go and get relieved of your jewelry. Yeah. So Dale Monster Morrison is cooperating witness number one. So was Monster cooperating out of fear? Probably not. He's cooperating to save himself, because in the indictment, Big U is pressing Monster about finding other dispensaries and other robbery victims. So I'm gonna rob you less if you help me find someone else to rob.
This nigga Big U, I told Tasha K everything this man did to me, jumped on me while I was pregnant, beat me, locked me in a...
Looking at this girl that says Nipsey lured her to get beat up by Big U because of a aborted charity extortion move. The possibility of there being something or two things, one sexual and one of a statement nature, that you could hold over Nipsey's head, at least in the streets. I mean, I don't think once Nipsey had a platinum record, that stuff really wouldn't have, a person who likes his music probably really wouldn't have cared. But so back to the Eric Holder and what really happened. Again, I want to reiterate, you've seen it that Eric Holder got 60 years, and you would think, well, if because I thought this, if there was someone to tell on once he really sat and thought about, oh shit, I got 60 years, I'm not going to get out till I'm 90 years old. Not many people don't tell if they can in that situation, but his earliest parole date is in like another, I forget the day, like it's in 2034 or something. So he didn't get 60 years. Or he got 60 years, but he's like eligible for parole way early. So he got kicked out of the neighborhood for something he did. He came back around. He supposedly got packed out for coming back around. But could he have had a battery put in his back? You can clear your name because, listen, and I don't have any special knowledge of anything. Just like you, I watch these YouTube prison, West Coast prison things of like, oh, well, you messed up, but if you go on a mission, then you're back even. So, okay, Eric Holder, you messed up, but we're going to let you come back around. But you got to do something. You got to clean it up. And here we got Nipsey talking about if something happens to me, Dahmer did it, and these photos and video. And that's not an actual conspiracy. There's no such thing as a tacit conspiracy. Like, you can't say, oh, I know how Al Prophet is. He wanted me to kill him. No, I got to say kill him for there to be a legal conspiracy. So if Holder was just kind of told these things about Nipsey and like, oh, well, you know, somebody needs to take care of it. That's vague. That's too vague. That's not something they can convict someone on for conspiracy in court. I'm sure that the feds are trying to get Holder out of his cell. I wish we had someone that could reach out that's with Holder wherever he's at. And has Holder been acting funny? Has he been leaving out to talk to somebody? Has he been getting more visits than normal? I'm sure this is Holder's chance to get out a little bit earlier. And the Big U, the fact that he was going in these corporations, the fact he was taking money from the city, the county, the state, really has him bad under the gun. You're subverting the government now. And then when he said that stuff on his Checking In podcast about how you can't fly over U.S. airspace, you got to let the United States know. Well, that's what Checking In is. So when he described himself in a manner like the U.S. government, that you have to, he's the person in L.A. you have to inform you're going to be there. I can imagine a federal prosecutor watching the tape of him saying that and saying, oh, really? Okay, we'll see about that. And the bank fraud charges carry the most time, 30 years. The Hobbs Act and the other things carry 20. I'm still unclear about the homicide because it's mentioned in all there. Is he charged with it, or is it just going to be an alleged act? Because if they're going to charge, like Nevada could charge him as a crime separately to really put him under the gun. So it really only have a little bit of circumstantial evidence. It's like it makes sense that you did it, but there's not really good evidence. So we'll see. I am going to try to go to his arraignment. Yeah, I think it says his actual arraignment tomorrow. So he has a court date tomorrow. So I'll be down there. I don't know if I'll be able to get in. We'll see. But all the dots connect in a way that make Nipsey Hussle a part of this as well. And of course, why wouldn't he be? He was down with you until he wasn't, and they mysteriously broke up. So whatever you had going on, why wouldn't a Nipsey been part? And to have a rapper to be able to lure the other celebrities and rappers into the extortion sounds about like what they would think of. And then if you're extortionists, why not extort each other? So try to get something on Nipsey. Be careful, pick your friends, or very, very carefully. When you do shady stuff with shady people, it's not easy to disconnect yourself from them. Nipsey saw the light at the end of the tunnel, but the ghost of Christmas Past was hanging on to him. And so that's my new thoughts for now. Go and check out that girl SKG.
Kofi. Follow me.